So all of these were agreed that we'll take some debaters and then we'll proceed. I don't know if that can be deferred to tomorrow, but we are entirely in your hands.
Well, being entirely in my hand, leave is hereby granted. Deputy Minister for Finance, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand before you to deliver a statement on behalf of Dr. Kasil Atto-Forson, the Minister for Finance. And the statement is on the audit of the arrears, as was reported to this House during the mid-year budget review. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to make this statement on a matter that is very important to this Republic. This is a report on the systemic blunder and abuse of the public financial management system. By the time I'm done with this presentation, it will become clear that something needed to be done to save our economy. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Finance informed this August House during the mid-year review of the 2025 budget of the ongoing audit of government arrears and commitments as at end 2024 and promised to submit same to this House when the process is completed. The Ghana Audit Service, working in partnership with EY and PwC, undertook an exercise to verify and validate a total of 68.7 billion Ghana cedis submitted to the Ministry of Finance in unpaid interim payment certificates, invoices, and bank transfer advices owed to contractors and suppliers. Out of this, outstanding IPCs and invoices amounted to 50.5 billion Ghana cedis, while outstanding bank transfer advices amounted to 18.3 billion Ghana cedis. Findings. Mr. Speaker, permit me to present some of the troubling findings of the audit. Out of the 68.7 billion Ghana cedis submitted for audit, a total of 45.4 billion Ghana cedis was deemed to be valid for payment. A total of 8.1 billion Ghana cedis was rejected for various reasons, including unsupported documentation, duplication, overstatement, already paid items, falsified stores receipt advice, and no work done. About 1 billion Ghana cedis of the outstanding BTAs, which refers to invoices and IPCs processed by MDAs in 2024, approved by Ministry of Finance, submitted to Controller and Accountant General's Department, and pending payment were rejected. Mr. Speaker, this 1 billion Ghana cedis that was rejected by the audit would have been paid if the Ministry of Finance had not made a bold decision to stop payment in January 2025. About 7.1 billion Ghana cedis of the outstanding IPCs and invoices, which refers to requests by MDAs for payments to suppliers and contractors, and certified for payment by various public officers across the approval hierarchies, have also been rejected. They were rejected for various reasons, including absence of supporting documents, duplications, recycled invoices and IPCs, overstatements, and no work done. Again, an amount of 13.3 billion Ghana cedis is yet to be validated for various reasons, including lack of third-party confirmation, inadequate documentation, and no supporting contracts. Mr. Speaker, fictitious debt of 89.4 million Ghana cedis. The then Ministry of Trade and Industry in 2024 submitted a request of 89.4 million Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Finance to be transferred to 5 commercial banks as government's contribution to interest payments under the One District, One Factory initiative. The Ministry of Finance subsequently processed same to the Controller and Accountant General's Department for payment. But, Mr. Speaker, this particular request was part of BTA's sitting at the Comptroller and Accountant General's Department awaiting cash for payment. When auditors contacted these 5 banks to confirm the liability, every single one of them denied being owed any amount by government under the said arrangement. According to the auditors, the said 89.4 million Ghana cedis debt was fictitious. Without the audit intervention, a whopping 89.4 million Ghana cedis of hard-earned public money could have been disbursed to settle this non-existent liability. Mr. Speaker, only God knows how much of taxpayers' money has been lost to similar fictitious claims. Right, Honorable Speaker, payment of 10.5 million Ghana cedis was recorded as having been made into an account named the buffer account at a commercial bank. Upon verification, the bank confirmed that it had never received such payment. The account number cited did not exist within the bank's records and did not even conform to its account numbering format. The evidence from the audit pointed to a completely fictitious account. Mr. Speaker, as a result of these fictitious accounts linked to the One District, One Factory payments, the entire 1D, 1F scheme requires a forensic audit which will be carried out soon. More so when government is said to have spent 391 million Ghana cedis as its contribution towards 1D, 1F interest subsidies as at the end of 2024. The dry spell expenditure. Mr. Speaker, in 2024, the government of Ghana paid for 34,000 metric tons of rice to address the impact of the dry spell. However, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture received and distributed 24,000 metric tons of rice. To date, 10,000 metric tons of rice remains unaccounted for, even though the entire quantity has been fully paid for. The audit revealed that the government of Ghana also contracted a company to supply 100,000 metric tons of maize. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture submitted stores receipt advice as evidence of delivery of the 100,000 metric tons of maize worth 771.2 million Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Finance for payment. But only 11,900 metric tons was supplied and distributed. Mr. Speaker, it is worth noting that the store's receipt advice was supported by a checklist that was certified by the internal auditor of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Overpayment for transportation of grains. Mr. Speaker, under the Farmer Food Relief and Recovery Program, a transportation company was contracted to transport 134,000 metric tons of maize and rice to farmers across the country at a contract sum of 115.2 million Ghana cedis. Even though the company transported only 35,000 out of the 134,000 metric tons, which should have costed 30.9 million Ghana cedis, the company was paid in cash 50 million Ghana cedis. In addition to this payment, the company was given 7,311 metric tons of rice, equivalent to 14,622 bags of 50 kg rice, which amounts to 11.7 million Ghana cedis in lieu of cash for no work done. This brings total payment to 61.7 million cedis to the transportation company. As a result, the Auditor General accordingly rejected an amount of 65.2 million Ghana cedis that was requested by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture as additional payment to the said transport company. The unfounded teacher trainee arrears. The Ministry of Education reported unpaid allowances totaling 160 million Ghana cedis to teacher trainees under the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. When auditors engaged GTEC, the agency confirmed that as of December 2024, there were no outstanding arrears. Over 159 million Ghana cedis would have been lost but for this audit. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 6.1 million Ghana cedis appeared on the Ministry of Education's BTA schedule at the Controller and Accountant General's Department, even though the same funds had already been paid by a donor partner. Such entries opened a door for double payments and exposed a dangerous pattern of weak oversight and porous coordination between donor and government financial records. Mr. Speaker, auditors identified BTAs totaling 293 million Ghana cedis for 6 MDAs with no documentation. There were no contracts, no IPCs, and no record of any executed work. Mr. Speaker, the breakdown of the unsupported BTAs are as follows. Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, 241.2 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Roads and Highways, 26.3 million Ghana cedis. Judicial Service, 18.2 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Special Initiatives, 3.7 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Health, 2.4 million Ghana cedis. And the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, 782,262 Ghana cedis. Falsified stores receipt advices intended for misappropriation of public funds. Mr. Speaker, auditors uncovered transactions worth 9.4 million Ghana cedis supported by forged stores receipt advices, SRAs, that had been used to justify requests for payment for goods that were never delivered. Ministry of Defense, 4.8 million. A contract between the Ministry of Defense and a company for vehicles intended for border surveillance and monitoring of the 2024 general election revealed that despite the issuance of stores receipt advice, which is an official document confirming that goods have been received, dated 12 October 2024, the vehicles were never delivered. Similarly, the Judicial Service appeared to be caught in a web of falsified stores receipt advice. While an SRA dated 25th October 2024 claimed the receipt of 7 Toyota saloon cars, as soon as the audit was initiated, the supplier wrote to the Judicial Service on 10th April 2025, indicating their inability to supply the said vehicles as scheduled. This shows that fraudulent documents were submitted to the Ministry of Finance for payments, and steps have been taken to avoid the recurrence of this incident. Mr. Speaker, these cases illustrate a disturbing pattern of fraud designed to deprive the people of Ghana hundreds of millions of cedis of public funds. Recycling of already paid IPCs and invoices. Mr. Speaker, claims amounting to 4.4 billion Ghana cedis, which had already been paid between 2020 and 2024, were fraudulently resubmitted for payment. These recycled claims originated from the following MDAs. Ministry of Roads and Highways, 3.6 billion Ghana cedis. Ministry of Health, 384.8 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Energy, 216.7 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Food and Agriculture, 57 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Defense, 40.9 million Ghana cedis. Independent Power Producers, 36.4 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Finance, 26.4 million Ghana cedis. and Ministry of Interior 3.1 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, but for our vigilance, the Ghanaian taxpayer would have lost a colossal 4.4 billion Ghana cedis in these recycled claims. Right, Honorable Speaker, one eye-opening finding of this audit was that MDAs did not have sufficient records of what they had contracted, what they had paid, and what was outstanding. Shockingly, Government of Ghana was at the mercy of contractors and suppliers to determine how much is owed to them. Mr. Speaker, this calls for an urgent review, redesign, and implementation of an appropriate PFM architecture to manage our public funds. Mr. Speaker, auditors identified duplicated and overstated claims by MDAs totaling 1.4 billion Ghana cedis. These MDAs include the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, an amount of 408.3 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Energy, 386.7 million Ghana cedis. The National Service Scheme, 334.5 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Roads and Highways, 125.65 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Health, 114.2 million Ghana cedis, and the NCCE, 8.8 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Defense reported 77.1 million Ghana cedis as outstanding claims for which IPCs and invoices were issued, although the contract had expired and deliveries were not made. Mr. Speaker, according to the auditors, confirmation responses received indicated an overstatement in claims by 161.9 million Ghana cedis. These emanated from Department of Urban Roads, 57 million Ghana cedis, Ministry of Transport, 39.9 million Ghana cedis, Department of Feeder Roads, 22.46 million Ghana cedis, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, 20 million Ghana. Mr. Speaker, the audit of Agenda 111 projects also revealed that a total amount of 7.9 million United States dollars was paid to 35 contractors as advanced mobilization under the program. But these contractors have either failed to mobilize to site or the work done is not commensurate with the amount paid. The advanced mobilization guarantees secured by the 35 contractors who received the 7.9 million US dollars have all expired. The Auditor General has subsequently issued notices of surcharge to the offending contractors. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, this audit has exposed a rotten system designed to fleece the people of Ghana. It reveals not just lapses in our public financial management architecture, but a pervasive and systemic plunder of the public purse. A culture marked by the fabrication of fictitious claims, the resubmission of recycled invoices, the forgery of stores receipt advice, and the treatment of public funds as personal entitlement rather than as public trust. The President Mahama administration refuses to accept this rotten system. In fact, we refuse to normalize waste, and we refuse to ask the Ghanaian people to pay for fraud. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Finance has formally referred the report of the Auditor General to the Attorney General to bring to account those responsible for this rape of the public purse. Those who abused their offices, colluded with contractors, falsified records, or attempted to loot the public purse through the back door will be held to account. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Finance will no longer serve as a rubber stamp for weak controls and falsified claims. Going forward, no payment will be made without full verification, no commitment will be entered into without budgetary allocation, and no officer, regardless of rank, will be shielded from accountability. This moment marks a decisive break from the past, a reset of public financial management, a declaration that discipline has returned to the center of fiscal and economic governance. Mr. Speaker, the Ghanaian people demand accountability, and under His Excellency President Mohammed's government, that demand will be met with action. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I seek your leave to lay the report of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister for Finance. Our members, I will open the floor for comment, subject to Order 91, 3, and 4. Yes, Honorable Patrick Yabuama, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker.
Speaker, yes. You comment. Speaker, just by way of a guide, we want to pray that we take 3-3 on each side. Oh, please. What? Why? I am making a proposal. So, please, listen to me. If you have a counter proposal, you
Minority
say so.
leadership, the proposal is to take 3-3 comments.
Can do. Mr. Speaker, with respect, normally we would have to agree instead of communicating directly to the chair. I don't think that is what the majority side did. That notwithstanding, I would want to suggest that we take 5 plus leadership, making 6. Because, Mr. Speaker, this is an important matter that has just come. We would be happy to talk about it, especially when the Deputy Minister talks about rot in governance. I'm sure he would soon see that things are more rotten under the very administration he serves than what he complains of. So, Mr. Speaker, it's good he's brought it on. Let's take it to the cleaners. It's good he's brought it on. We're ready for them.
Leadership. 6. Very well. So by Order 91, 4, the comment must not exceed 5 minutes. The timekeepers are up there. The floor is now open. Honorable Patrick Yabuama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To make some few comments on the statement by the Deputy Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, this statement to Parliament is on the report of the Auditor General on arrears and payables at the end of 2024, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Article 187 of the Constitution of this country establishes the Office of the Auditor General of Ghana and empowers the Auditor General of Ghana to look into the books of all MMDAs and institutions of this country, Mr. Speaker. It also gives persons affected by the report of the Auditor General the opportunity to explain certain things before a formal report of the Auditor General is laid before the House within 6 months after each financial year. Mr. Speaker, we don't know the basis of this report. Has the Auditor General given those implicated or mentioned in this report, or those officers or the institutions mentioned thereunder, the opportunity to respond and take advantage of the provisions under Article 1879, which says that a person aggrieved by a disallowance or a surcharge made by the Auditor General may appeal to the High Court. Mr. Speaker, I believe
the Minister of Finance has rushed into presenting this statement. There are various officers or institutions of state who had to be invited to answer questions. Mr. Speaker, the NDC administration has been in power for just under a year or a year and a half. They have all the powers of state to invite anyone who has committed any offense to be investigated and brought before any court of competent jurisdiction. Mr. Speaker, we rush to this House, make this statement, implicate people, and later go back and find out that they haven't committed any offense. Mr. Speaker, let's be careful with the way we handle public officers. There's been so many occasions that reports have been submitted to us, referrals are made to the Public Accounts Committee, you go there and the records are sent to them and it shows that they've committed no offense. Mr. Speaker, let's be very careful. Honorable Deputy Minister of Finance, I'm sure you are in a rush to satisfy or settle some scores. This is not the forum for this statement. This is not the forum. This is not an appropriate statement referred to us as a House, as enshrined in the Constitution of this country by the Auditor General. You are putting the cart before the horse, and be very careful about this tangent that you are trending on. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Kwame Aguja.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to make few comments about this very important statement. Mr. Speaker, this is the right forum to talk about this. Mr. Speaker, I will explain to you. And when I finish explaining, colleagues would understand why this is the best forum. Mr. Speaker, the statement talks about contracts. Mr. Speaker, some of the largest contracts in this country are approved by this House. Mr. Speaker, this House approves even contracts, road contracts, where we write into the contract that we will buy even mobile phone that the contractor will use on the project. We borrow money to buy mobile phones for the contractor on the project. Yes, you say, hey, that is what you have approved. We even pay for the use of the mobile phone approved by this House. Tell me this is not the best forum. This House approves contracts and say we should pay a contractor $29 million as mobilization. And if that contractor fails, if we fail to do certain things, the contractor can walk away free with our $29 million. Tell me this is not the right forum. Let's look at each other. I don't know your constituency, but in my constituency, there will be a pregnant woman today who may be struggling to find a health facility to attend. I have constituents today who are looking for potable water to drink. And if you and I, members of parliament, write a contract and give away $29 million to a contractor and say that when the contractor raises a net certificate, we are not able to pay, the contractor can walk away with $29 million. Tell me this is not the right forum to be talking about it. What has this got to do with the Auditor General? It is members of parliament who should do our work diligently. How do you feel buying a mobile phone for a contractor? Mr. Speaker, I believe these issues are very serious. Mr. Speaker, during the validation process by the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Speaker, it is quite obvious. In fact, I have at the ministry currently about 500 million claims that when the contractors were asked, show me your contract, the contractors didn't come back. But these contracts were formed at the ministry, at the agencies. Tell me this is not the right forum so that we who represent the people who do things right. It is not about NDC or NPP. But these monies are being wasted in our names. Mr. Speaker, it is not about anybody there or me. But this is the waste that is in the system. Mr. Speaker, when every day, including tomorrow afternoon, I will be asked, when will you be paying the contractor who has stopped work in my constituency? And tomorrow, I will be answering those questions. Minority leader, bear with me. Tomorrow afternoon, I will be asked questions by colleagues. Why is the contractor on my road not working? And I tell you that this same house have approved $29 million to be spent on a project, Wale Wale, I knew that, how do you call it? Savelugu to Wale Wale, and the contractor work free. Tell me this is not important. Mr. Speaker, it is very important. And I am urging the House. Mr. Speaker, yes, I'm a minister. I can guarantee, yes, I'm a minister. Look, no, let me tell you. Mr. Speaker, it is important for Parliament for us to take our work diligently. Because I know there may be contracts in committees and other things. Let us do diligent work so that going forward, we avoid these things. Mr. Speaker, we have situations where last week I said we were so reckless in contracting and commitment that almost, Mr. Speaker, 90% of road contracts that were awarded in 2024 did not have any commitment authorization. And that day I said that, including the former finance minister's own constituency, he didn't even issue commitment authorization for road work in his own constituency. That is reckless. That is reckless. So members of Parliament, hello, but the buck stops with us. We must do our work diligently. So if you say this is not the right forum, this is 100% forum to bring this issue. And I want you to help government make sure that we tighten these things. It doesn't matter whether it's NDC or NPP that is in government. These roads were not necessarily sanctioned by politicians, but that is the system we inherited. We are only calling for a reset of the system, and President Mahama is saying that I will reset the system, and I call upon you to support that system. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Kabiru, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would want us to put to bear and to put as a matter of fact that whenever the minister responsible for road is called to contribute to the statement, he finds ways and means of sneaking tangential matters into the discussion. And I want the House to record and to put same into our hands that the Wale Wale road was a contract awarded in line with the procurement acts of the country. Mobilization was given to that contractor, and if there's anything wrong, these people have 11 months. They have 1 year. They should go and recover their money. They shouldn't be coming to this house and complain the same thing. Nothing was done untoward in that project, and they know that. And they know that they are doing it because of problem. Mr. Speaker, let me now come to the statement. In the year 2017, the then government handed over to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. An audit of the arrears was done. Mr. Speaker, 13 billion was audited as arrears and claims on the government of Ghana. Then, the current Minister of Finance, he was a deputy minister at the Ministry of Finance. Out of the 13 billion that was audited, 5.5 was those certified. About 5.7 were rejected. That constituted 50% of rejected claims. Mr. Speaker, today, the same apostles are coming to tell us that 11% of amount has been rejected, and it is news. Only 11%. 68 billion, only 11% of that has been rejected, and that is news. Mr. Speaker, 50% of what they presented to the next government was rejected, and the Minister for Finance presented that before it's before the records of this House. And today, they are the apostles of good governance and resetting. Mr. Speaker, as a matter of fact, no one is condoning and supporting any contractor, any agency using the resources of the country for personal gain. We in this particular side of the aisle will never support that. But when you present that and package that in the form of propaganda to make a government look bad, we will point it to you that you are being political, you are being, untruth to the issue. You are being disingenuous. Mr. Speaker, let me come to that finding. In that particular report, 2017, they stated, audit report shows that inflated contract was one of the problems. The same thing has been found in this project, in this report. Second thing, there were non-essential contracts. In fact, there were lack of proper documentation in that report. The same thing has been presented today. So when you are presenting it and people are making it look as if this government or the previous government had done something untoward, Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, they are not being true to the fact because in their tenure, under the minister responsible for finance, he was a deputy minister. He superintended over 50% of the claims being fictitious. Why do you come to us as apostles of good governance and as apostles of resetting agenda to make you look good? Mr. Speaker, you should scrap the hypocrisy in this house. Let us face the issue of governance with seriousness. When we do that, I'm sure governance will be good. Mr. Speaker, let me then come to the issue of the road sector. Under the road sector, they presented a bill of 11.2 billion in 2017. Go to the facts. 11.2 billion. Half of that, more than half of that were fictitious. You come back today and you tell us that there was no good government. Mr. Speaker, let these people bow their heads in shame and let us approach the issue with the seriousness it deserves. No one will ever deceive anyone from this side about facts and records on this side. Mr. Speaker, let me again conclude on a very important point. Mr. Speaker, there is lack of proper record system in the country, and everyone takes opportunity of that to do as they wish. Once there is no proper record system and you go to the minister and you don't have records, you don't blame the contractor. As a matter of fact, there's poor record system at the Ministry of Roads, there's poor record system at the Ministry of Finance, there's poor record system across every agency in the country. The fact that you do not see the document doesn't mean that work has not been done. We need to fix that and fix that well. Mr. Speaker, the other issue was state agencies are involved. Mr. Speaker, all those accusations are in relation with state agencies. No individual has been mentioned. They refer to GTEC. They refer to ABCD. It tells you one story, that the state agency will have to be strengthened in order to do their work in a manner that are appropriate, in a manner that is right. Mr. Speaker, finally, the minister comes to blame people, condemn people without even hearing from them. What stopped them from inviting people in those agencies to listen to them before they even come? You don't condemn a man before you hear him. It is in line with basic principle of natural justice. Listen to the man. Let me give you a view before you can condemn. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yes. Let me take Honorable Kwachi Ofosu.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to comment on this statement. Mr. Speaker, the defensive posture adopted by our colleagues on the other side is telltale, because a reading of the presentation made by the Deputy Minister responsible for Finance shows clearly that there was a systematic effort to loot the resources of this country. Because we are not talking about minor clerical errors or minor computational errors, ascertaining how much the state owed to contractors and service providers. We are talking about carefully crafted schemes to fleece the people of Ghana. And I am astonished that there are people on the other side who are even opposed to an exercise to bring this to light. They are saying that this very house that approved and gave authority to the finance minister to engage in this spending should not have oversight when it comes to finding out how those resources were used. Mr. Speaker, this is a special audit commissioned by the finance minister, who during his very first budget presentation to this house said that this audit will be conducted. He has finished the audit and brought the report to this house for consideration, so that at the very least, and yet people who superintended the affairs of this country for 8 years are opposed to this exercise. It is bad enough that this wanton rape and looting of state resources occurred under them, but it is even more shocking that they appear to want to stand in the way of government as we take steps to correct this. Mr. Speaker, I have just heard my colleague Dr. Kabiru lament the fact that they came to meet similar occurrences in 2017. Mr. Speaker, he has only confirmed that for all 8 years they wasted their time and did nothing to correct problems that they inherited. We are not terribly afflicted by the same bag of lethargy. Mr. Speaker, we intend to correct and reset this country. So every problem that we meet, we will resolve. And one of them is sealing the loopholes that allow for the brazen theft that the superintendent in the 8 years they were in power. Mr. Speaker, how is it possible for a whole government to preside over a situation where they claim to have paid 10.5 million Ghana cedis to a specific account in a specific bank in this country. And yet auditors go to the bank says, first of all, no such payment has been made, and that no such account even as this year. This is brazen theft of public resources, and the records of the Republic of Ghana show that this payment has been made. How can anybody be opposed to an effort to correct this? Mr. Speaker, how do you award a contract and pay the contractor fully when he has not done work? In which jurisdiction is this acceptable? And how can members of parliament who have been elected by their constituents come to this house and oppose efforts to correct this? Mr. Speaker, they had 8 years to deal with anything that they found to be problematic when they came to power. When they were in power, they hauled several members of the past administration to court over alleged wrongdoing. Nothing stopped them from dealing with this systematic rape of our resources. But President Mahama and the finance minister are determined to ensure that not a dime goes to the wrong hands. If you read the statement that the deputy minister presented carefully, he indicated steps that are being taken to ensure that this does not recur. He has also said, more importantly, that all those responsible for this brazen theft of our resources will be held to account. I hear them say that, oh, if they've done wrong, hold them to account. Mr. Speaker, this is a jurisdiction where the rule of law applies. You must do it systematically. So the first step has taken place, which enables us to know what has happened. After that, firm action will be taken against those who are complicit in this crime against the state. Mr. Speaker, it also raises questions about our oversight. It simply means that we have to do more as a house to ensure that the public purse is protected. We just do not need to give budgetary allocations to ministries, departments, and agencies. We must defend and protect the public purse from the sort of rape that the Deputy Minister has highlighted. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, Honorable Dominic Nitiwul.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to comment briefly on the statement made by the Deputy Minister for Finance. Mr. Speaker, it's very clear what is going on. In fact, the government is under pressure about the cocoa issues. Mr. Speaker, this is the third time. This is the third time that the Minister for Finance is trying to smuggle an item into Parliament to distract the public attention. Nothing, let me repeat, nothing will distract our attention from the suffering of the cocoa farmers and from the suffering of Ghanaian farmers. Nothing. Not even these concocted stories. Not even these concocted stories will distract our attention. Mr. Speaker, the first budget of the Minister for Finance, he mentioned this, it was the banks. He came back mid-year, mentioned it, it was the banks. Today, you smuggled this. In fact, you did not even inform our leadership you are going to make this statement. You smuggled this because you are under pressure. Nothing will stop us. Mr. Speaker, let me state one thing. Let me state, you have been in government for 15 months. The Auditor General of Ghana has presented his report for 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and even 2025. He's presenting it in June. Mr. Speaker, if the Auditor General so believes that these infractions happened, to have found his way in his report, not you. This is fictitious. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, this is a special report. It has nothing to do with the Auditor General report. Show me. Mr. Speaker, let me give you an example. On page 10 of the report, it says Minister of Defense. I was a Minister of Defense. We have not, and we never signed any contract. We never signed any contract to buy vehicles for the purpose of elections 2024. Not from the Minister of Defense. We made a request for vehicles all the contracts of the various agencies, the nature of it, were all done at one ministry, Ministry of National Security. We, at Defense, never did it. So you see that. And two, and I'm saying that too, but you are not telling the people of Ghana the truth. Two, you said there is a contract between the Ministry of Defense and the company. No name, nothing. Two, we never. Two, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, two. Mr. Speaker, two, and they said for intended border surveillance and monitoring of 2024. Two, Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Defense does not pay on receipts. No. If you have a Minister for Defense, you realize that we don't pay on receipts. We pay when the Ghana Armed Forces set up a board. The board will review all the documents, will do inspection, will make sure that physically the item that you have requested and contracted for has arrived, and the board members are almost 10 of them, before they will advise you, the minister, to pay. We don't pay by receipts. Ghana Armed Forces, through the Minister of Defense, does not pay by receipts. So there is no way that the Ghana Armed Forces or the Minister for Defense will pay 4.4 million cedis because of receipts. We don't do that. If there is no board of acceptance report, we don't pay. That's the first thing I want you to know. Mr. Speaker, on page 10, they go and say that some recycled invoices. Mr. Speaker, we have since not been paying by invoices. We pay through gift mix. We don't pay by invoices. He knows that the government of Ghana since 2020, we don't pay by invoices. We pay by gift mix. If you have supplied something, you put it on gift mix, and that gift mix payment, once you have, Mr. Speaker, once you have already put something on gift mix, it will not accept it again. Once you have put it on gift mix, it will not accept it again. So you don't come and do some propaganda piece of audit and come and spring it on MPs because you are hot. Answer the cocoa business.
Yes, Honorable Soini.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this very disturbing and shocking statement that has been presented ably by the Honorable Deputy Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, first of all, this statement is properly situated under Standing Order 91, where it is quoted that, where I quote, that the Speaker may make a statement on any matter of interest to the House. A Minister of State may make a statement of government policy, and the statement shall be limited to facts which are necessary to be made known to the House. So, Mr. Speaker, I see no reason why reference is made to the process as outlined in the Constitution with regards to how Auditor General report is presented. That is not contested. That is not in question at all. The fact is that the minister is making a statement and sharing facts that this House needs to know. Mr. Speaker, what is disturbing, especially listening to contributions, is that it seems to me that once again, as members of the political class, we are missing the plot. We are missing the point, and we are claiming this as our problem, which we will turn into a political football. Mr. Speaker, I expected that we're all going to be shocked and scandalized and speak in support of government's action to fix and rectify these problems. Because the minister in his statement did not even accuse any politician, past or present. He simply spoke to facts as contained in the Auditor General's report. And let us not delude ourselves. Every government in this country has either been toppled through a coup or through the ballot box as a result of corruption. Every time the people feel that their leadership or their leaders are corrupt, they choose a means of getting them out of power. In the Fourth Republic, we have been lucky, and we have been doing so through the ballot box. It does not mean that if we continue to ignore these challenges, we will always have the opportunity to be replaced through the ballot box. May God forbid, let us not ever get to a point where the decision will be taken for us to go decades backwards to get our leaders replaced through the barrel of the gun. Mr. Speaker, it should be shocking and scandalous to anybody to hear, for example, Mr. Speaker, that there was an attempt for payments to be made. For example, on page 5, the Deputy Minister makes the report to us that there were fictitious debts of 89.4 million. And how did it happen? That the then Ministry of Trade and Industry in 2024 submitted a request of 89.4 million to the Ministry of Finance to be transferred to 5 commercial banks as government contribution to interest payments under One District, One Factory initiative. Mr. Speaker, and he says that when auditors contacted these 5 banks to confirm the liability, every single one of them denied being owed any amount by government under the said arrangement. Mr. Speaker, how is it any of our colleagues on the other side's problem? How is it your problem for you to want to defend this? So, Mr. Speaker, let us be very careful. Let us all come together as members of parliament who are concerned about the loot that has been going on, sometimes in our name as political class, as members of the political class, and ensure that we support the action that the minister and this government is taking to seal these loopholes and to hold the people responsible, and so that we can give assurance to our people that at least this generation of leaders are different and are committed to preserving the public funds. Mr. Speaker, these are not just figures. When you hear 89 million, when you hear 293 million, these are not just figures. These are missed jobs. These are missed roads. These are hospitals that are not built. And this leads to loss of lives. This creates more unemployment for our youth. So let us not just look at these figures and think that we can reduce them to political, ping-pong games. Let us support the finance minister and this government to ensure that the people who have...
Remember your time, sir. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am saddened by the kind of comments that are coming from my colleagues on the other side. Mr. Speaker, this issue, this problem, has been with this country for years. Please, 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 please. Allow me to speak. When it's your turn, you can also speak. It has been with this country for years. We are unable to resolve this matter because of the way we have always turned the matter to be partisan and accusing ourselves as politicians each and every day. Mr. Speaker, those who have been committing this atrocity and these infractions are the technocrats. They are sitting there, you know them. They are still there approving. They are still in the ministries and the agencies. They are still approving for payment. Their names are there. You know them. No politician, no minister sitting here signs a check. Which minister sits here signs a check at the ministry? It is done by the technocrats. Who does the authorization for those payments? They are there. It is the technocrats. But we come here and create the impression that, oh, all politicians here are criminals. We are corrupt. Just to score political point. And when we go out, we step out, and the people are chasing us. And now, we don't know what to do. Mr. Speaker,
This is a very dangerous thing that we are doing as the political class. I am all for it. That we need to put measures in place. This is a systemic problem. It's a systemic problem. We go and put gift mix in the place. What was the import of having that system in the place? Is to check, to ensure that every payment that we make in this country go through a system. Who is in charge of approving those gift mix? Who is in charge? Even in your district. Sometimes when you don't put certain projects in the gift mix, you have some officers who will tell you that, come, I'll be able to review it and correct it for you. And they go behind the scene. They put certain things in it. And it turns back, we come here and we come and blame ourselves. I will support every measure that this government wants to put in place to correct this. But when we are correcting it, Mr. Speaker, let us make sure that those people who have been committing these infractions or these criminally minded activities who are brought to book, they are there, we know them. They are the ministries, they are the agencies, they are the technocrats, they are the public service, they are there. You work with them and stop the politicization of this matter. And if we are committed, and not for any political reason, but we are committed as a people in resolving this matter, let us come together and resolve this matter once and for all. About 8 years ago or 9 years ago, a government came, conducted the same audit, and found those infractions. Today, another government has come. He has also conducted the same infraction. I'm sure when this government also leaves office and another government comes, he also conduct another audit and the same infractions. Will come here and they will be enjoying, the technocrats, they will be sitting back and enjoying the goodies that they are making out of the kind of politics that we are doing. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I want to call the House for us to come together and depoliticize this matter and make sure that we are able to resolve this matter once and for all. Thank
you. Yes, Honorable Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transition.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the statement made by the Deputy Finance Minister. Mr. Speaker, I must say I'm very saddened with the reports, especially seeing the whopping sum of money that is deliberately dissipated, or there's an attempt, per the report, to be mismanaged. Mr. Speaker, I think, with the sum that we are seeing here, as a House, just as our colleagues are all recommending, should not be politicized. These numbers we are seeing here today, it may be huge, more than what we have always seen in the past. But I think it is time that, as a committee, as a House, we look at how best we'll be able to nip this in the bud. Mr. Speaker, I heard one of my colleagues making a claim that this report is being brought just to take the attention of cocoa prices or whatever. But I think this goes beyond that. The figures we are seeing here, as a House, we should all be concerned. How are we going to deal with it? Somebody is, my colleague just mentioned that technocrats. But as politicians, at the end of the day, the sums that are seen here, the technocrats' name will not be mentioned. That is why the report has been brought to this House for us to deliberate. It should just go beyond the deliberation. If we have to take the necessary legal actions, we recommend that we do that. So that every politician, even if you are not the one who signs, we also approve. Whatever we have to do together to make sure that we don't see these figures again, because we have our students here. When the students see 8 billion as an amount that was supposed to have been paid, but through audit, it has been rejected. This 8 billion has a lot that can be done for almost all the secondary schools in Ghana. If we have 800 secondary schools, it means that each secondary school will get no less than 10 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, 8 billion will be able to fix all the roads in the central region. My able senior honorable Afenyawakin's roads are well done. So maybe when he sees this 8 billion, he will not be concerned. But because my roads are not done, I'm so concerned about this 8 billion that has not been accounted for. So I am only calling on the House that it shouldn't just be a report that has been brought to us for us to deliberate. We should all see how best we can come together and work with the Attorney General or the respective committee to ensure that all the perpetrators or people who are aligned with this, the law takes its course on them. So I want to thank the Finance Minister and his deputy for the good work they are doing, especially saving the nation of this whopping 13 billion, which I believe that once they have saved it, going forward, it can be used to cushion the cocoa farmers that they are saying that their prices have been reduced. So this money is so much a funds that can help to support the cocoa farmers. So if we really care about the cocoa farmers, let's see how best we can save these sums to support them in the future. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, when we first came to this House, one of the first advice or initial advice that we were given was that we should be careful what we say as politicians, because that has become the basis for the nation to develop mistrust for politicians. It appears that that advice, Mr. Speaker, was not taken by the same persons who were given that advice. Mr. Speaker, I can appreciate why our colleagues on the other side of the aisle keeps making reference to report, as though what the minister read on the floor of this House was the report. Mr. Speaker, because they are confusing the report with the statement. Mr. Speaker, what is up for debate is not the report, but a statement. A statement by the minister containing extracts, supposedly extracts.
Honourable Member, I do not call for debate on anything.
Mr. Speaker, comments containing extracts, Mr. Speaker, and not the report itself. Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, the audit report will contain, Mr. Speaker, the management responses. The audit report, Mr. Speaker, will contain responses by persons who were the subject of this audit. Mr. Speaker, the statement does not. And so what we have, Mr. Speaker, we don't even know whether it is coming from the report. Mr. Speaker, there are no references as to which page of the report it is referring to. Mr. Speaker, it does not contain responses by the persons under reference or the institutions that are subject of this audit. Yet, Mr. Speaker, it is being debated as though it is the report itself. Mr. Speaker, it is being debated as though it is the gospel. But, Mr. Speaker, it is not. This is the reason why Ghanaians will sit out of this parliament and think that, Mr. Speaker, we cannot be trusted. Mr. Speaker, because this is a propaganda piece. It is nothing but propaganda. Mr. Speaker, for instance, the Ministry of Trade. Mr. Speaker, it is a matter of record that no payment was made because no disbursement was made by the bank. Mr. Speaker, there will be no disbursement by the ministry because, Mr. Speaker, until payment is made, interest payment is not required. Mr. Speaker, but because of propaganda value, this is being presented to the House as though something has happened. Mr. Speaker, the essence of Article 187 of the Constitution should not be lost on us. Mr. Speaker, because of our oversight responsibilities, it is incumbent upon us to ensure that systems are improved to prevent losses to the state. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, historical audit reports, Mr. Speaker, will be deductive in this journey. Historical audit report teaches us, Mr. Speaker, that it is not in all circumstances that losses are incurred to the state. However, there is the potential for a loss. And so we as a House should be fashioning out ways to manage the systems in place to prevent a loss. Mr. Speaker,
The essence of audit reports, Mr. Speaker, is not for propaganda. Mr. Speaker, if you do propaganda, you will be exposed. We thought that you were going to learn from the Attorney General. Today, you have been embarrassed by the Attorney General, oral, your so-called oral, because it is of no value. The evidence is said to contain garbage. You have done the same propaganda for 15 months. Today, you have been exposed by electricity charges. Electricity tariffs are exposing you that you are not doing nothing in government for the last 15 months. You've been exposed by water tariffs that for the last 15 months you are not doing anything in government. Mr. Speaker, business owners are suffering. They cannot pay electricity tariffs. Mr. Speaker, cocoa farmers are suffering because you are struggling to manage the cocoa sector. Mr. Speaker, this is nothing other than propaganda. Mr. Speaker, your government so far is government by propaganda, of propaganda, with propaganda, and full of garbage. Mr. Speaker, thanks for the opportunity.
Honorable Azika Dongo, is now your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm very, very sad. And Mr. Speaker, I want my colleagues to take a cue from some of the comments that Honorable Suhini made and some of the comments that my colleague on the other side made. What we are doing is that we are shielding criminals in this chamber. Nobody is saying that a politician has stifled money. You have left office. Ernst & Young, Pricewaterhouse, and the Ghana Audit Service now goes to review transactions that are supposedly made in your name. And the auditor is saying that he could not validate those transactions because in some instances, the people that they claim you owe them said that you don't owe them. It is rather vindicating you. You should be happy. Mr. Speaker, this should tell us that we have to proceed beyond this. And Mr. Speaker, I would like to make an appeal to you under Order 262, that this should require further work by this House, and that you should set up an ad hoc committee to look into this matter and report back to this House. Mr. Speaker, I want to refer to the Minister for Defense. The Minister for Defense, the report says that in the GIFME system that he is saying we should use, it has been logged in the GIFME system that he signed a contract. It has been logged in the GIFME system that they issued a goods received note saying that they received vehicles. And on the basis of that, they have made a request on the Minister for Finance to pay. When the minister audited them, they realized that those things don't exist. So rather than being happy that they found out the people who were going to cheat in your name, you are here defending that you didn't sign anything. Exactly that is what the report is saying. The report is saying there was no such agreement. So if you said there's no agreement, that is what the report is saying. You say you didn't buy vehicles, but somebody left in the GIFME system that you have taken delivery of 6 vehicles. And the report is saying you did not take delivery of 6 vehicles. And the Minister for Finance is saying that they should pay because you did that. And the minister found out you didn't do that. Why should you be the one fighting this report? Mr. Speaker, I am really worried. And let me come back to one of the comments that my own colleague, Honorable Patribu made. Honorable Patribu made said that the people who are part of this and are being accused have not been given a hearing. Unless you don't understand an audit. In any audit, by the time you complete the audit, there are a series of meetings that you need to answer. Then even when you are not able to answer, before they exit, there will be a final conference where they will say, having gone through the audit, I have asked you to provide evidence of ABC. I came back again, you didn't get it. Now I'm leaving this place. Do you now have anything to tell me? If you don't have to tell me, I'm going to report this. And then I capture it in your management letter. Your responses are still not adequate. And because of that, it becomes an audit issue. And you are saying because of that the person has not been heard? I don't get it. It is simply that people don't understand the audit process. But if you understand an audit process, nobody involved in this did not meet the auditor. And so the report was laid here. So why are you in a hurry? It is the reason I am asking, it is the reason I'm calling on Speaker, it is the reason I'm calling on Speaker to refer this and the audit report to an ad hoc committee to review and come back to this House. And you will find out that you and I are protecting the civil and public servants who are there doing their own thing in our name. And when we come to tell you that this is what they are doing in your name, you now stand here and defend them and own it. I mean, I don't know why we are doing this to ourselves. I simply cannot tell why we are. Somebody left as a minister for trade. He did not authorize for the payment of any interest to any financial institution because he didn't do that. But in the give me system, it's been logged that some people should be paid interest in banks. You send auditors there and the people say, look, the state doesn't owe us any interest payment. And now that person sits here and you are defending that I didn't make any payment. It is precisely because
Adongo, your time is up. Yes, minority leadership. You are speaking for 15 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Finance Minister, in a statement titled "The Report of the Auditor General on Arrears and Payable Assets End 2024," Mr. Speaker, indicated at paragraph 48, page 14 of his statement, quote, Mr. Speaker, this audit has exposed a rotten system designed to fleece the people of Ghana, end quote. Mr. Speaker, the entirety of the statement contradicts this particular paragraph of the statement. And for me, it appears that the minister was here purposed to create a headline rather than putting together an important national matter for Parliament to discuss. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to Honorable Suhini. I've also listened to my own colleague with whom I share esprit de corps, Honorable Kwame Agboja, governs. My own colleague, Kennedy Osenyako. We came into this chamber together, and not the least, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Adongo. Mr. Speaker, I've come to one single conclusion from all their submissions, that we must fix a system. But, Mr. Speaker, if a deputy minister mounts the podium in this chamber, here our podium is the dispatch box, a very important platform, and includes this in a statement. Mr. Speaker, obviously, nobody will take him serious. The conclusion will be that he's here on a partisan political agenda.
with no consequence, but to please a certain gallery of vulnerable Ghanaians. And that we want to stop you in your tracks. Mr. Speaker, the report itself, of which he has graciously served me a copy. Mr. Speaker, this is what the report says on page numbered I, signed by the Auditor General himself. Mr. Speaker, paragraph 3 and 4, I would quote. 3, it says, the audit resulted in savings of some 21 billion. In other words, what the state would have paid, but for this audit, there are some savings, which is good. And then, Mr. Speaker, it goes further to say some 115 million cedis would have to be justified. Mr. Speaker, the auditor makes an observation which I think that is critical for my respected friend Govins. We also noted instances of non-performance by contractors and unaccounted government stores. We have made recommendations to address the irregularities identified in the report. Mr. Speaker, that is what the Auditor General is saying. Mr. Speaker, somewhere in 2014, I was privileged to have been part of those who were in this chamber. Kennedy Japan, in a similar debate on an audit report, raised the issue of systems and policies, not NDC or MPP, and it became a new term that all of us across the aisle, now when we see one another, we say systems, and we respond policies. This is not about NDC or MPP. That was Kennedy right here in 2014. So when I listened to Agoja and listened to Suhini and again listened to my colleague here, I felt that indeed the minister had lost the plot. Look, Honorable Deputy Minister, we are just calm and watching you guys, not because we don't know. If you are talking about rot, and if you say that a system has been designed, let me tell you, if we are talking about a system that has been designed to fleece the people, Mr. Speaker, you have a lot. Listen, I didn't apologize to Muntaka because I made an allegation against him. No, if you are interested in that, we'll go there. So please, we are talking about a serious matter. Honorable Minister for Health, you know how much I respect you. Please stay away from this matter. Or else you will hear what you don't want to hear. Please. I am saying that we know how even the current recruitment system. Stay, yes, please. Even the current recruitment system, Ghanaian youths are being ripped off by the very system because they have to pay and pay and pay. Mr. Speaker, must we label an individual as being corrupt because there is a system that is not functioning and is going against the citizens? 2, Mr. Speaker, we are here. I once served as a chair of the Rose Fund. I am happy to say that colleagues on both sides of the aisle were able to point how people present the same certificate and manipulate the system for the same payment. And there was a call on the agency to introduce an AI-powered software that will detect these things. Mr. Speaker, I hold a humble view that as political leaders, the time has come for us to sit around the table and fix the system. I will be the first to support that. But if you now want to reduce it to some partisan point scoring, I'm sorry, I won't support it.
Because you see, you were in office some years back, like Honorable Kabiru referred to, when MPP assumed office in 2017. A similar audit was done, and you know the story. I won't repeat them. But you and I know that time and again, we all get confronted with system failures. Can we sit together and fix it? I will not put the blame on anybody, but I think that we need to fix the system. If you look at this audit, the Auditor General is referring to Article 1878. In fact, there's a legal issue, a constitutional issue here. If you read Article 1878, it provides, and quotes, Mr. Speaker, with your leave, paragraphs A of clause 7 of this article shall not preclude the President, acting in accordance with the advice of the Council of State, from requesting the Auditor General in the public interest to audit at any particular time the account of any such body or organization as referred to in clause 2 of this article. So there is nothing wrong, listen, there is nothing wrong if the President requests a special audit. However, Mr. Speaker, where is the Council of State advice? Mr. Speaker, we have had the opportunity of seeing the Finance Minister's directive to the Auditor General as contained in whatever directive he received from the President. Mr. Speaker, no reference was made to the Council of State. No reference was made to the Council of State. And I challenge government, if indeed Council of State advised in accordance with the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, fortunately we have a presiding officer now who believes in the text of the Constitution, who does not depart from the language of the Constitution. So where is the advice of the Council of State? So everything you've done here, Mr. Speaker, becomes odious. However, Mr. Speaker, on the basis of national interest, on the basis of prudence, we still hold a view that this must be worked upon. Mr. Speaker, we have a public account committee. I don't mind the referral going to the public account committee. Mr. Speaker, what are they afraid of? We need the public account committee to go into this matter. And Mr. Speaker, nobody should attempt to invite you to set up a certain ad hoc committee. We have our own regular committees that have been established, and there is no exceptional situation. The Constitution is clear that when the Auditor General is done with his work, the referral will be made to the appropriate committee of Parliament, which is Public Account Committee. It is there. They should refer to it. All the agencies that they claim did anything wrong, Mr. Speaker, they are free to invite those agencies to answer. In any event, the good news is that all previous political appointees are still available. Mr. Speaker, they are available to answer for any matter that has been referred to in this report. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader should know that when his backbench does this, and he is also speaking, similar thing can be done. And if Mr. Speaker doesn't see, if the Mr. Speaker doesn't see, it's fine, we have seen. Mr. Speaker, all government appointees are in this country. Yes, they are here. Mr. Speaker, if there is any need to invite anybody, they know what to do. Follow the law. Mr. Speaker, they should follow the law. Mr. Speaker, this morning, when we came to Parliament
And the understanding was that we were going to start at 12. We were clear on our minds what we were going to do. We expected the finance minister to come here and brief the House on the cocoa matters. Mr. Speaker, today the deputy minister has been sent to come and brief this House on this, a thing that we already know. You have forgotten. We know. You've said it. You said it over and over again. This is not the first time. We know. You've been saying this over and over again. And like Honorable Nitiwu said, because you are hot, let me tell you, you promised to create jobs for the youth. They need their jobs. The cocoa money, you are supposed to pay the cocoa farmer. You have refused to pay the cocoa farmer. You've increased electricity tariffs to almost 30%. It is hitting households. You are supposed to create jobs. You are not doing so. Where is your 24-hour economy? Where is your one job, 3 shifts? Mr. Speaker, even you cannot take care of your backbench, your 189, you can't take care of them. Instead of designing policies to help your MPs who are struggling, you are not paying attention to that. Only a few of you are enjoying. Even Mr. Speaker sitting there, how are you resourcing his constituency so that he can create jobs? That should be your interest. Not to come here and then start your propaganda.
Honorable Minority Leader, take me out of your comments.
Mr. Speaker, yes. Mr. Speaker, but your constituency is one of the constituencies that need to be supported. Mr. Speaker, therefore the Deputy Minister of Finance must come here and do the proper thing. His own constituencies that are cocoa farmers, support them and stop the propaganda. Mr. Speaker, that said, I want to rest my case and I hope that next time he will come here and do the needful. Thank you so much.
Honourable members, before giving the floor to the Majority Leader, let me acknowledge the presence of students from the CSC Senior High School, led by Francis Afari Saki, Headmaster. They are from Ejumako Enyan, SCM. They numbered 93. Honourable members, on your behalf, I welcome them to Parliament of Ghana and urge them to have a fruitful visit. You may resume your seats. It's now the turn of the Majority Leader and Leader of Government Business. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, let me join colleagues to thank the Minister of Finance for making this statement and briefing the House on the outcome of the special audit that was conducted into arrears and payables. So, Speaker, it is part of our record that the Minister last year did indicate that he was holding on to paying some claims because he wanted to conduct a special forensic audit to validate the payments. Indeed, in this chamber, on several occasions, the Minority Leader had occasion to demand that contractors be paid, and the Finance Minister responded that he was holding on to the payment because he wanted to verify. So, Mr. Speaker, after the verification, the Minister also to this House to come and report to us the outcome of the verification. But more importantly, this is not a verification done by the Minister himself or the Ministry. It is an exercise undertaken by the Auditor General, supported by consultants that they engaged. And we all know that by law, the Auditor General can engage private consultants to assist in carrying out audit exercises. And Mr. Speaker, when the Auditor General audits state institutions, agencies, public corporations, the normal thing to do is to present the audit to Parliament. The reason is that we as parliamentarians, we superintend over all these agencies. We budget for the agencies, and so we should be interested in knowing how they utilize their finances. And we represent the people whose lives can be made better if the funds are used judiciously. I hear the minority leader saying that special provision should be made for the speaker so that the speaker can manage his constituency better. What do you use to make the special provision? Resources. So if the speaker authorizes resources to agencies and they are wasteful in the use of the resources, with what is the finance minister going to make special provision for every single member of parliament here to fix the roads in their constituencies, fix the electricity in their constituencies, fix the broken water systems in their constituencies, and deal with the broken schools in their constituencies? Resources. So we must be interested in how the resources are used. And when this government decides that we are going to pay special attention to this, it is not political witch hunting. And I regret that throughout this comment, I've heard colleagues try to create the impression that politicians are not responsible and that it is the technocrats, the bureaucrats. That's not true. Politicians are ultimately responsible. You are ultimately responsible. You are responsible for your ministry. You are responsible for your agency. If there is corruption, if there is waste, it is your responsibility to make sure that those who are engaged in that are held to account. Because we sit here as parliamentarians and pass the laws, we sit here and approve the budgets, and we are the ones that the Auditor General reports to, so that when there is malfeasance, it is our responsibility to ensure that it is corrected, that people are punished. So, Mr. Speaker, this report that has been presented to us is a very serious indictment of events that occurred in the past 4 years. Very serious indictment. I was in this chamber when the Minister for Agriculture came here and told us that there was a dry spell in the north of Ghana and that we needed to buy food. They needed to buy food. The budget was humongous. The budget was humongous. And we grudgingly approved it. Grudgingly approved it. Because we were very sure that there was no way that these food items will arrive at a time when the communities will need it. So we approved the amount. Today we are told that some contractors who took the contracts for 35,000 metric tons, 35,000 metric tons, ended up supplying barely 10,000 metric tons. And they were paid. And they were paid. Mr. Speaker, the point I'm making is this, that we in this House cannot gloss over those matters. If there's an audit report that indicts anybody, without fear or favor, let's hold that person to account. This president, under John Dramani Mahama, is determined to root out corruption. Whether it is corruption by the public servants, by the bureaucrats, by the civil servants, or even by politicians, let us deal with it decisively. I agree with you that we have heard this so many times. This is why this should be the last time we are hearing it.
And it will be the last time that we are hearing it, because we will set up a special committee. And that committee will look into everything that has been reported on by the Auditor General. We will invite all the parties who are involved. We will verify everything that the Auditor General has discovered. And we will make sure, this Parliament will make sure, that everybody who is indicted in this audit report is held accountable. That has to happen. I don't understand how you can be defensive of a report like this. Indeed, it should excite your curiosity. You should want to know more. You should want us to go into it and to establish indeed that this happened, and it happened in the Republic of Ghana, so that we can fix it and let this Parliament go down in history as the Parliament that stood firmly and fixed the rot in the system. We must encourage the Minister for Finance. We should not politic it. How can you get up and say that this report is being presented because we have a problem with cocoa pricing in the country? How could you ever say that? How could you ever say that? A report that was mentioned in 2025 by the Minister of Finance that he was undertaking, and the report is ready and he's presenting it, and you say that it is because of cocoa prices? And is the cocoa prices a problem of only Ghana? We ask you to go next door to Ivory Coast. We ask you to go next door to Ivory Coast so that you will find out if the cocoa crisis is only in Ghana. It's a global affair. Prices have slumped, and therefore countries must adjust to their promises. Go all over the world and check the prices. This report could not have been presented to divert attention from cocoa farmers' issues. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, the incapacity of the economy to support cocoa farmers is because of the massive looting that occurred. Because of the massive looting that occurred. According to the auditor's report. Mr. Speaker, according to this report, billions of Ghana cedis cannot be accounted for. How much do we need to pay the cocoa farmers? How much do we need to pay the cocoa farmers? In the face of billions of Ghana cedis, that cannot be accounted for. Mr. Speaker, indeed, looking into how our monies were squandered is a responsibility that we owe to the cocoa farmer. Because that money came from the sweat of cocoa farmers. That money came from the sweat of cocoa farmers. And so when they sweat, and then we sell the cocoa, and we receive the proceeds, and we squander it in these wasteful manners, we do a great disservice to the cocoa farmers. And so anybody who pretends to be concerned about cocoa farmers must be concerned about how the money is used. How the money is used. So, Mr. Speaker, I will support the call on this Parliament to set up a special committee pursuant to Order 262 of our standing orders. Mr. Speaker, I can understand why you are protesting that a special committee should not be set up, that it should be referred to the Public Accounts Committee. Mr. Speaker, we will not accept that because your side chairs the Public Accounts Committee. We will not accept that. We will not accept that. It's a special audit. The normal audit reports come and they are referred to the Public Accounts Committee. And so when there's a special audit and a report presented to this House reserves the right to set up a special committee to look into it and to report back to us. How can we set up a committee? How can we refer this matter to a committee chaired by the NPP when everything that is spoken about here in this report occurred during the tenure of the MPP. How can we credibly refer this matter to a committee chaired by the MPP in this House? Mr. Speaker, it will not be credible. Mr. Speaker, we are looking into matters bordering on the activities of the Ministry of Finance under the MPP. And the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee was a Minister of State in charge of Minister of Finance. She was the Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance. And so many of these things occurred during her tenure as a minister. I'm not saying she's responsible, but it occurred during her tenure as a minister. How can you refer the investigation of such a matter to the same person? Mr. Speaker, this will not wash. The public will not even take us serious if they see the current chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee sitting to look into matters that she superintended over. So, Mr. Speaker, there is a very good case for setting up a special committee to look into this audit report and to probe further, invite the parties, verify the things that we see. And this Parliament has the authority to recommend severe punishments. We can recommend prosecutions, and we can ask the Auditor General to take certain actions against those who are found culpable. Mr. Speaker, unless we begin to take these kind of situations serious, we will drive our country down the ditch. You can work hard, but if you don't punish for wrongdoing, those who will take over from you will not feel a responsibility to also be accountable. When we take on what happened yesterday, we are guarding against it happening again today. Why? We are in government. We're in government. The resources of the state are in our hands now. We control the institutions. Why don't we just keep quiet and exploit the same loopholes and dysfunctional systems and also enrich ourselves? Why don't we do that? Why? Why don't we do that? So, Mr. Speaker, the reason why we will not do that is because we have a country to fix. If we don't take on those who conducted themselves so abysmally yesterday in the management of the public finances, we will lose the moral authority to take on those who are in charge today. And if those who are in charge today are holding wide open the books so that we can all learn the wrongs in the society,
Minority Leader, you have your right.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm not making further comment, but the Majority Leader has introduced a very strange matter that if I don't comment on, Mr. Speaker, a certain precedent will be introduced, Mr. Speaker, that will not inure
Honorable Minority Leader, the chair is capable of dealing with the matter.
Mr. Speaker, I rest my case therefore.
Thank you. Honorable members, this is a statement made by the Deputy Finance Minister under Standing Order 91. Comments have been taken following the statement. Now, part of the comments makes reference to Order 262, requesting that we form special or ad hoc committee to look into the matter. it is important as a House to look at Standing Order 262. With your permission, I read. The House may, by motion, appoint a special or an ad hoc committee to A, investigate any matter of public importance, and B, consider any bill or a matter that is not within the jurisdiction of any of the standing or select committee. Now, this is not a motion, it is a comment, it is a statement by the minister with comment by members of the House. Others' comment was to the effect that the matter be referred to the Public Accounts Committee to investigate and report. There was also a comment to the effect that the Public Accounts Committee is chaired by the opposition whose tenure of office the incidents took place. Honourable members, we can look at Standing Order 224, which indicates clearly that if the matter refers to the tenure of office of the chairperson of the committee, then the chairperson can recuse himself and allow other members and report to the House. Honourable members, on this note, I will refer the matter to
Mr. Speaker, I believe because I was timed out by the timekeepers, my last set of sentences related to a motion. After I concluded my comment, I followed with a motion because I know that 262 clearly says that we must come by motion. So I concluded by moving a motion. Speaker, because we were timed out, it definitely is not part of the records of the House because it was timed out. But consider that, because it is not just a question of the chairperson recusing herself, but also, Mr. Speaker, the various years audits have been done already by the Public Accounts Committee. The audit report worked on a special area, and then this is a special one. Because the special audit report, let's set up a special committee.
Honourable member, you know Standing Order 101. A motion, there must be a notice of it. Clearly. Honourable members, to continue, Standing Order 2294, and I read, where a matter for consideration before the committee relates to the period of administration of the party of the chairperson of the committee, the ranking member of the committee shall be the chairperson for the consideration of that matter. That is what Order 2294 is saying. So accordingly, I'll refer the matter to the Public Accounts Committee to investigate and report to the House within 3 weeks. Yes. Honourable members, let me read a message from the Speaker. Goodwill message by Chairman of COSPA on the occasion of International Women's Day 2026 celebration, organized in collaboration with Elect Her under the theme Give the Gain, African Women in Legislative Leadership. In my capacity as the Speaker of Parliament of Ghana and Chairman of the Conference of Speakers of Presidents of Africa Legislature, I join my colleagues across our continent to celebrate our women in legislature as we commemorate International Women's Day today, the 8th of March 2026. In Africa, our parliaments carry a profound responsibility to represent the full diversity of our citizens and to preserve the credibility of democratic governance. The strength of our legislative institutions therefore depends on how inclusive our structures and leadership are. Experience over time has confirmed that when women participate meaningfully in legislative leadership, parliaments become more effective in lawmaking, more efficient in oversight, and more responsive to the needs of citizens. Women's leadership strengthens deliberations, broadens policy priorities, and enhances public trust in our institutions. As parliamentary leaders, we must recognize that expanding leadership opportunities for women is not an act of charity, it is an investment in institutional performance and democratic legitimacy, opening spaces and creating opportunities for women benefits our democracies in terms of stability, legitimacy, and stronger policy outcomes. This is why COSPAL is currently pursuing two important continental initiatives. Firstly, in collaboration with Elect Her, we are advancing the women's representation in Africa. African Parliament Project, WRAP, to promote data-driven engagement and peer learning to expand women's presence and influence within our legislatures. Secondly, in collaboration with the Policy Innovation Center, COSPAL is promoting the gender legislative agenda to encourage institutional reforms that support women's access and participation in the activities of legislatures across the continent. On this International Women's Day, we reaffirm our collective commitment as African parliamentary leaders towards building representative, credible, and responsive institutions that recognize and support women leadership. I wish all women involved in legislative work across the continent a happy International Women's Day. Honourable members, thank you for the opportunity. Yes, Majority Leader, any indication?
Speaker, we have two more important statements. One from the Minister for Health, and yes, two more. Please. We have advertised statements, and I'm saying that we have two more statements, one from the Minister of Health and one from also advertised. Then we'll take the rest of the statements, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
May I pray that we vary the order of business to take motion number 10 to permit the Honourable Minister responsible for transport to lay the paper there under, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
So the application is to do presentation of papers.
That is so, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. That's an application to do presentation of papers. Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, this is not a one-party parliament. That the majority acts on its own whims and caprices. We are here in leadership. Members have been sitting here waiting to have their bite on SONA. It looks like you are not interested in your own SONA. You are not interested. So the prime time that we're supposed to debate this SONA, you don't want us to take it. Out of the blue, you keep announcing that there's a ministerial statement. Why? We just took a ministerial statement, so defective, not anchored on facts, so partisan. Then you come back again with a ministerial statement. Mr. Speaker, our members have been waiting to debate. If your side you are not ready, we are ready. Let's have our bite. This business of you come, then you make an application, especially for members who only come here when they have business. Mr. Speaker, they know themselves. They come to heckle, and then when they get their way, they leave. Mr. Speaker, we will not accept it. At least engage your colleague here. Mr. Speaker, the practice where the majority chief whip will just get up and announce business, varying business, Mr. Speaker, will not accept it.
Honourable Minority Leader, you are not speaking to the application before us.
Mr. Speaker, that's exactly what I'm doing.
The application is
Mr.
to
Speaker,
have papers presented.
Mr. Speaker, we engage in such circumstances. What we know is that we are supposed to take the debate. The transport minister is a member of this house. He should patiently wait. Let's finish the debate. Mr. Speaker, maybe they are not interested. If you believe in what the president told us, let's get it on the floor. Let's debate it. You're waiting for people to close. It's 5. You want the debate around 7, 8, when Ghanaians have slept. Mr. Speaker, when many people are going to bed, that is the time you want. And we know that trick. It's an old card you are playing. Let's discuss the president's message at prime time.
Honourable members, I intend to vary the order of business. At commencement of public business, presentation of papers. Item numbered 10, which is presentation and first reading of bill. Minister responsible for transport.
An act to prohibit piracy, robbery at sea, and other maritime-related offences, give effect to the provisions of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea in respect of piracy and the International Convention for the Suppression of Unlawful Acts Against the Safety of Maritime Navigation, 1988, and related protocols, and provide for related matters.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, the minister who just laid the paper, the rule is clear that upon the request of a member, the minister will be required to give a short explanatory memorandum to the paper he's given.
Yes, Honorable Minister, a short explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Maritime and Related Offences Bill 2026 seeks to prohibit piracy and also to prohibit robbery at sea and other maritime-related unlawful activities that occur at the maritime sector. Mr. Speaker, we are blessed to have the coast of the sea, and as such, we are serving a lot of the West Africa countries, being in the center of the sub-region. We need to have laws that will be able to provide for the safety, navigation, and safety security on our seas. And as such, we are here with this bill such that we can provide adequately for the safety at sea and also prevent other unlawful activities that occur at sea. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity for me to lay this bill today. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Yes, Minority Leader. That is his short explanation.
Speaker, this is a House of Parliament. The minister should come to this House, take the House serious with a ministerial statement. Mr. Speaker, we won't accept extempore.
Honorable Minority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, if
with the exercise that we engage in, under what order are you doing what you are doing?
Oh, Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to understand your question. Mr. Speaker, you mean as I'm requesting for...
A bill has been presented, and you use the rule rightly that a minister should give a short explanation. The minister has given the short explanation. Before the referral, you are up and you started speaking. That is why I am asking, which rules of the House support what you are doing?
Speaker, with respect, I got up invoking your inherent powers as Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that's discretionary. Mr. Speaker, your inherent powers as the presiding officer is only discretionary. I want your leave to rise under your inherent powers. If that is granted, I will proceed. If that is not granted, Mr. Speaker, I have to resume my seat.
Well, that is not granted.
Very well, Mr. Speaker, that is fine.
Honourable members, the bill is read for the first time and referred to Committee on Roads and Transportation for consideration and reports. Yes, Majority Leader.
Speaker, may I, on behalf of Leader, pray that we go back to statements. That will be item number 8. Oh, please. Can I finish? Please. Please. Speaker, Speaker, may we go back to statements and take a commemorative statement from the Minister responsible for health. Speaker, it's on World Kidney Day, such an important day. So we take a short statement from him, and then we can deal with the outstanding matters in terms of the SONA debate. Mr. Speaker, humbly.
Yes, that is the request.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether the Majority Chief Whip wants to depart from an unsoiled practice of this House. Mr. Speaker, he has been in minority before, and he knows the value inherent in engagement. You can't just get up because you are vanguard of government business, just announce applications. Mr. Speaker, you cannot, Mr. Speaker, if that is going to be his approach, Mr. Speaker, we would have a difficult time ahead of us. We are sitting right here. Your colleague, the deputy, is here. Mr. Speaker, at least engage him.
Honorable Minority
Mr.
Leader,
Speaker, if you want to grant it...
Is it not the case that statements are admitted by the speakers?
Mr. Speaker, with respect, can you hear me? Mr. Speaker, don't interject me with questions as if I don't know the rules. That is not the import of my submission. Mr. Speaker, you and I know that at the front bench, we pre-agree on what to do. You know it. He cannot deny the fact that what he is doing now, we are completely not aware. Our colleagues have been seated. Mr. Speaker, he knows that we have been prepared for the debate. And then all of a sudden you say that you have a ministerial statement. It's commemorative. It's only fair that you let us know. That so-called ministerial commemorative statement, we don't even have a copy. Mr. Speaker, we sit here. If that is a new practice because they are in majority, Mr. Speaker, set the precedent. We'll talk no more.
Mr. Speaker, please, I can't please. Mr. Speaker.
Yes, let me hear you.
Yes, first of all, it is most inaccurate for the minority leader to suggest that I didn't engage. We had a discussion at conclave. You were not there. We agreed that we'll take statements. And before today's conclave, it is contained in the business statement adopted for this week. Please, that ministers of state may make statements. You have been put on notice. Your attitude is that as you engage them, then you can say no. And when you say no, the business should not be taken. It's unacceptable. Mr. Speaker, we have advertised statements. But the ministers of state, when they have major statements to make, we have to take them. So the suggestion that it is a new approach for me is completely false.
It's a national statement.
You see, honourable members, let us all realize the fact that somebody is in charge of the business of the House. We have a leader of a government business. So if the leader of government business is making a suggestion, I mean, why do we say no? A business that has been discussed at conclave.
Speaker, with all due deference to you, I have always believed that the essence of conclave is to engage on matters of this nature.
Yes.
But we had conclave this morning. There was no representation that there was even going to be any form of statement from the Deputy Finance Minister.
How come
the Deputy Minister, the Minister
those
of Health.
instructions?
Mr. Speaker, so I'm giving you the facts of this morning's conclave. There was none. My senior members have been well prepared to deal with the SONA. Honorable Patrick Baumann has been here since morning just because he is going to have the bite of the SONA since morning. There has not been any conversation. So, Mr. Speaker, let's not come and sit here and present a different picture. There has not been any conversation on two statements. One which is commemorative and the other which is propaganda. No. Mr. Speaker, so please, I believe that the essence of going to conclave is to come at addendum that these are the things we are discussing. And Mr. Speaker, even today, we also had wind that there is going to be a program. So there was a possibility of even closing earlier. Why all this? Why all this? They are supposed to have 16 members to have a bite on today's SONA. And we are supposed to have 8. And we are going to do 10 minutes, and they are going to do 5 minutes. And if you add all of that, it's going to be about 3 hours. When are we going to finish, Mr. Speaker? Yes.
Yes, majority whip.
Speaker, I believe that the back and forth will eat away more time. So let me urge you for us to proceed and take it's because it's a commemorative statement. I believe that, Speaker, there should be a way of getting the Hansard department to capture the entirety of the statement.
So
within 5
how
minutes,
many comments? How many people are commenting?
Speaker, we can limit it to 1-1, and the leadership will conclude. He can present the statement in 5 minutes.
Honorable Minister responsible for health, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to draw the attention of this Honorable House to the global commemoration of World Kidney Day 2026, observed under the theme Kidney Health for All, Caring for People, Protecting Environment. World Kidney Day is an important occasion for raising awareness about kidney disease, promoting early detection, and strengthening national responses to the growing burden of kidney-related illness. Mr. Speaker, kidney disease has emerged as a significant public health concern globally and increasingly within Ghana. Chronic kidney disease, often described as silent condition, progresses gradually and frequently remains undetected until it reaches advanced stages. As a result, many patients report late to the health facilities when treatment becomes more difficult, more expensive, and less effective. In Ghana, the situation is deeply concerning. Current estimates for 2025 place the overall prevalence of chronic kidney disease at between 13 and 19% of the population, representing an average of about 4 million people. This is a significant burden by any measure. Particularly troubling is the fact that the disease is increasingly affecting younger and economically productive persons, with the average age of patients requiring dialysis estimated at 46 years. Mr. Speaker, available evidence from studies conducted at Konfanoche Teaching Hospital further underscores the gravity of the problem. These studies indicate that the highest frequency of renal patients falls within the 46 to 55 age group, representing 19.25%, followed closely by the 36 to 45 age group at 18.96%, and the 26 to 35 age group at 16.5%. This means that kidney disease is not only affecting older populations, but is also imposing a serious burden on younger adults in their most productive years. Mr. Speaker, due to the lack of adequate time, I will want to read the last page and then indulge the Hazard Department to capture as being entirely read. Mr. Speaker, it is important to note that while dialysis is essential in sustaining life, it's often not the most
definitive long-term solution for many patients with end-stage kidney disease, organ transplantation remains most effective long-term treatment option. It is therefore worth informing this House that the Ministry of Health is currently finalizing the organ transplant bill for submission to Parliament. This proposed legislation will establish the legal and regulatory framework necessary to guide safe, ethical, and well-regulated organ transplantation services in Ghana, whilst ensuring protection of donors and recipients alike. Mr. Speaker, let me go to the last paragraph. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Ministry of Health and the Government of Ghana, I reaffirm our commitment to strengthening prevention, expanding access to care, supporting patients in need, and building more resilient health system capable of addressing kidney disease and other non-communicable conditions. Mr. Speaker, I'm most grateful, and the Hazard Department must capture it as entirely read. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, that is a statement ably made by the Minister responsible for health. It's now time for comment. Yes, Honourable Dr. Titus Bayu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this statement. And let me thank the Honourable Minister for Health for bringing this important matter to the fore for discussion. And it is important that we celebrate the World Kidney Day, and the theme for this year's celebration, which also captures protecting the environment, is worthy of note. And in Ghana, mentioning of the environment should tell us the impact of galamsey on the prevalence of kidney diseases. And because of time limitation, I pray that if we are looking at preventing and reducing the prevalence of kidney diseases, we must tackle the menace of galamsey. The heavy metal poisoning of our water and food has impact on kidney diseases. Mr. Speaker, as mentioned by the Honourable Minister, the prevalence of kidney diseases in the country is between 13 to 19%. And about 300,000 people are estimated to be living with what we call end-stage renal disease. End-stage renal disease happens when you have lost about 90% of the kidney function. The kidney is one of the most merciful organs. It doesn't cause you a lot of trouble until you have significantly lost its function. So you need to lose 90% of the function of the kidney to get to the point of needing dialysis or renal transplant. This gives us enough room for intervention. If we can screen early and identify it, we can prevent ourselves from getting to that level. The leading causes in Ghana are hypertension, diabetes, consumption, unregulated consumption of pain medications, and then consumption of not scientifically tested herbal medications. If we can minimize this, then we can decrease the prevalence of chronic kidney disease, and for that matter, the prevalence of or the requirement for dialysis. Mr. Speaker, I would therefore ask that we emphasize on prevention, because the treatment is expensive. Even where the cost of dialysis is covered by the National Health Insurance, ancillary costs like cost of transportation, medications, drugs like erythropoietin needed to maintain the HB and of these patients, and blood transfusion are all costs that cannot be borne by the National Health Insurance, and these families struggle. For many families today, diagnosis of chronic kidney failure or end-stage renal disease is equal to a death sentence, and we can prevent this if we tackle the early causes of this condition. I would thereby end by pleading that we hasten the process of passing a legislation or a law on organ transplant. The advantages of such a law will be that this transplant will be done ethically. There will be organ banks that people can donate, and people can give advance directives that if they are involved in an accident or anything that causes them to lose their life, they are willing to donate their kidneys. This will permit for cadaveric harvesting of kidneys for use in transplant. In present day, for you to get a kidney donated, you need to get a living donor, and that is very challenging with a lot of ethical considerations. So I plead on this House to really consider, and the Honorable Minister to consider bringing to this House the bill on organ transplantation to help us manage the burden of end-stage kidney disease. Dialysis is not a permanent solution. The best solution is renal replacement. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, minority leadership. Yes, majority leadership.
Thank you,
Yes,
Mr. Speaker.
you have the floor.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Honorable Minister for Health, Honorable Kobna Minta-Kando, for such an important statement. For such an important statement, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, according to the Minister of Health's statement, 4 million young people, Mr. Speaker, are suffering from end-stage kidney disease. Mr. Speaker, elsewhere, when it comes to kidney disease, it's usually people in their 60s to around 65. But here in Ghana, it is really young people. And for the reasons that the minister had stated, Mr. Speaker, the most important thing is for a young person, average 46 years old, who has kidney disease. Mr. Speaker, that is very devastating to the patient as well as to the family, because that person has to be on dialysis 3 times a week, and each session is about 4 hours. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, that individual has to be in a dialysis unit 4 hours. By the time they finish the session, Mr. Speaker, they are completely wiped out, because we have to take the blood, pass it through a dialysis machine, and return the blood to the patient. So after the session, there's not much they can do. They cannot go to work, and they don't do anything. So they just literally go home and sleep, or they go home and they keep vomiting. Mr. Speaker, having end-stage kidney disease is one of the most devastating diseases that a young person can have. And for the same reasons that the Honorable MP from Lambusi said, Mr. Speaker, it is very important that we pass the organ transplant bill. Mr. Speaker, currently there are 2 options you have for transplantation. One, as he spoke about, is the cadaveric. When we say cadaveric, Mr. Speaker, we mean from a person who is deceased. Now, the other option is a living-related kidney transplantation, meaning that it is somebody you know, a family member, who now donates you the kidney. Mr. Speaker, every individual has 2 kidneys, and a person can live with just 1 kidney. So living-related kidney transplantation is that somebody would donate one of their kidneys to another individual who is usually a family member. Mr. Speaker, currently we are not doing a lot of kidney transplantations in this country, and that is where Mahama Cares come in, Mr. Speaker. Mahama Cares is doing a lot of specialist training to bring specialists to this country, so that people in Ghana will not have to travel outside the country to go to different countries like in the Arab countries or to the US or to the UK to get transplantation. We can do transplantation in Ghana with the right care and with the right facilities, and that is where Mahama Care comes in. Mr. Speaker, incidentally, last month we did 4 kidney transplantation at one of the hospitals in Ghana. All 4 of them were living related, and Mr. Speaker, thankfully, all 4 patients are doing extremely well right here in Ghana. So with Mahama Cares, Mr. Speaker, we can continue to have good, proper health care in Ghana, and we will not have to travel for that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity.
Honourable members, on your behalf, I thank the Minister for making the statement on this very important issue. Yes, Majority Leader.
Speaker, I believe that, as agreed, we can go back to motion number 11, I believe, Mr. Speaker, to continue with the debates, Speaker. Speaker, the other arrangement we had, Speaker, a conclave, because my backlog is quite a lot, we had agreed that our side will do 5 minutes. Each contributor will take 5 minutes, so we can take more of my numbers. The other side had agreed that they will stick to their 10 minutes for committee chairs. So on my side, deputy ministers and committee chairs, every contributor will do 5 minutes, so we can take more. Thank you.
That has been agreed upon. So on the list, I have 16 people and 8 people. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I have an issue with that. I don't think we agreed firmly on that. Mr. Speaker, we are very much aware that in debates, it is one against one. If we want to divide, we don't want to set some bad precedents over here. That is my candid view about this thing. And so let's look at what has been the standard thing or the standard operation for debates in the House. I don't think we are going to finish in a very short period of time before closure if we adopt that approach to this debate. We on the minority are not in favor of that arrangement.
Well, I walk into conclave to meet this arrangement being put in place, and I was instructed as such. In fact, I went further to confirm with Honorable Habib and Honorable Jerry Ahmed about this arrangement when I received the respective list from the majority and the minority side, and a confirmation was again given. So, I mean, I have some difficulties.
Let me, Speaker, my difficulty is, Speaker, she actually raised this very point before the Speaker.
Yes.
It was the Speaker that presided. Please, Minority Leader, please, if you can. Okay. So she raised the point. Because yesterday we could not go on with the debate. So we brought the backlogs from yesterday to today. Now, my proposal was that because if we stick to 10 minutes for the committee chairs, we may need much more time. So I propose a more reasonable means to getting a lot of my members to contribute. So I shortened my time for them. And so Speaker said her claim that it will amount to setting a bad precedent was untenable, because I was using a more reasonable means to solve my number problems. So it is permissible for me to split my 10 minutes between, instead of giving 10 minutes to one contributor, I was giving my 10 minutes to 2 contributors. So that is permissible. So Speaker overruled her and approved of the formula before we left conclave.
You see, any time at all, the Speaker is using his wisdom to address a number problem, we oppose it and we run into a problem. So, if one side is going to have 1 hour to speak, and somebody decide that, as for the 1 hour that I'm going to speak, I will let my members use 5 minutes each, and you decide that you want one person to use the entire 1 hour, it comes to the same thing. So how do we address the number challenge when we are opposing this mechanism that has been approved by Mr. Speaker. And when leaving, he has given me a clear instruction that this is what has been agreed upon at conclave.
Mr. Speaker, I think this practice is very alien in this chamber, the one we want to introduce. It is not the same as one person speaking for 10 minutes. We are here, look at the time. I think it's about 5 o'clock, and we are going to engage in this debate using 5 minutes for 16 people on that side, and then, Mr. Speaker, we don't want to set something that is so
in terms
bad.
of time, what difference does it make?
It makes a difference because before someone gets up to speak, it takes some time before the person begins to even articulate his or her points. It is going to delay us further, and it is not, it's untenable. One-to-one is what we know. It's so alien. And you remember, you recall, Mr. Speaker himself gave a ruling on this floor.
I came to conclave late. I'm unable to overturn Speaker's decision and his instructions to me.
Speaker, so what was the problem for the minority side at conclave was that then those from my side who originally will have 5 minutes will have to be known. So if you see the list I submitted, I indicated those who originally would have had 10 minutes. All of them indicated 10 minutes, but now they'll speak for 5 minutes. And that became acceptable to them. So, Speaker, this issue, so then let's do the 16. I have 16 members. So let's proceed with the 16. You said you cannot get your 16 members to debate today. So you will stick to your 10 minutes, but you will let 8 people that are available for you to speak. How is this difficult?
Honourable members, there is a number issue. So once it's been addressed this way, let's go by it. Yes.
Speaker, I want to address you on 2 points on this matter. One, I remember some months ago, the majority leader and leader of government business raised this matter on the floor, and the Speaker made a definite ruling on the matter that although at committee we go by ratio, when it comes to debate, it is 1 here, 1 there, and nothing will change. As far as the records of this House would bear me out, there hasn't been an appeal to that decision. Now, second, the chief whip of the majority caucus is now putting across a point that now he wants to split his time. So if it is 1 hour each allocated, he wants to split it to make it 5 for each member. So if it's an hour, instead of 6 people, he wants to do 12 and split it. Mr. Speaker, much as he may have his own good intention to solve his problem, that is not the practice of Parliament. Now to suggest that we had said we don't have 16 people, so we only yielded to 8 because we don't have the numbers, and he has 16, and therefore we should bring our 16, so he brings his 16. Mr. Speaker, that is a different argument. If we need more time to debate SONA because you have members who would want to speak, let us discuss that and then agree. But as it is, we've agreed that tomorrow leaders are supposed to close the debate. If we want to extend it to Friday, we can do so. But Mr. Speaker, I don't want us to weave a certain precedent that would come and haunt ourselves in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, it's not a matter of Speaker has ruled. Mr. Speaker, you've spoken, Honorable Defeamekpo, listen to me. What you are trying to suggest is to use a backdoor. I don't want to use a co-governance approach. Have one, let me take two, but it's the same sharing formula. No, it will not be the same. It is co-governance strategy. It's, oh, you have one, let's share. Have one, mine, I will split it. When you split, they are not the same. When you split, they become two. If we are doing 1-1, if you have your 8, do your 8 for 10 minutes, we do our 8 for 10 minutes. If you want to do 5-5, let's proceed with 5-5. But I'm pleading with you, this thing that because you are in majority today, you want to have a full house, take the full loaf. You can never predict what will happen tomorrow. And I am saying, Mr. Speaker, that is exactly what it is. If, okay, Mr. Speaker, he makes it clear now to me now. He has 16, I should look for my 16. Mr. Speaker, that is fair enough.
You see,
if that is his argument, then that's fair enough. But I won't accept any ratio of 2 to 1 because there's a ruling on it.
Honorable members, the said ruling was delivered by Mr. Speaker.
In this very chamber.
And Mr.
It's a matter of public record.
Can you listen to me too? Mr. Speaker was at the conclave when these arrangements are made. I am unable to vary same. He can come later and vary same, but I am unable to vary what has been decided at conclave and handed down to me. That's the difficulty that I have. If it is the case that we'll take 8 people for today, having regard with the time, everybody speaks 5 minutes, then I'm still within the range.
Mr. Speaker, fair enough. If the 16 is not working, because the majority chief whip is proposing 16-16 or 5 minutes each. We don't have a problem with it. Save that because of time. Let's do 8-8 and we continue tomorrow. I don't mind. So that the remaining 8 can have a bite. Mr. Speaker, let's not, this is not the first time that one side is having majority. We have had 169 before. Honorable Majority Leader, we have had 169 before. That is not how we treated your minority. We have had 169 in this chamber before. 169 was a number.
Mr. Speaker, I think you've concluded on this matter. The Speaker himself, who ruled earlier on against my proposal that we have some kind of proportional opportunity when it comes to commenting on SONA and even the budget, he decided to make some approvals that will be more accommodating, so that they maintain the length of time they get to debate. We enjoy the same length of time that we get to debate. Except that we use numerous debaters. I don't see why you should have a problem. The argument I have heard several times from you is that the numbers are not important. The substance side speak for 30 minutes and say nothing valuable. Why are you worried? Say something very valuable. Your own argument that substance is what is important will prevail. So let's accommodate one another. Speaker has already made the arrangements and communicated it to First Deputy Speaker. And as he indicates, he has to go according to that arrangement. Let's try it today and see how it goes.
Speaker, with respect, I don't want my colleague to quote me out of context. I don't want him to quote me out of context. Mr. Speaker, I maintain that the majority is taking an undue advantage of their numbers. This is not an end to the democracy we have. There's an election ahead. We have had 169 in this chamber. we did not bring such arguments. Mr. Speaker, this thing of it is 2 divided into 2, our side will subdivide it into 2. Mr. Speaker, it's not the same. Mr. Speaker, it's a backdoor approach. And I also don't want Mr. Speaker himself to be quoted in public, because Mr. Speaker has ruled, and any time I have administratively approached Mr. Speaker on matters that I felt administratively could be resolved, but Mr. Speaker always insisted that use motion. If the House decides, it's only through a proper application on the floor that same can be varied. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to believe.
Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, can I conclude this?
I don't want you to be doing that invitation. I just want to admonish.
Mr.
Certain
Speaker,
things
you hold your breath. Let me
always
finish.
be by bring a motion. No.
Why? But the majority leader spoke. He didn't interrupt. At least let me finish so he can come in. He has unended opportunity to admonish and come in. The majority leader spoke. There was no interjection. Mr. Speaker, what I am saying is that the Speaker should not be invited into this matter. Matters that perhaps is discussed at conclave. We shouldn't create the impression that Mr. Speaker can rule on a matter and then vary the same ruling. I don't want that impression should be created. Mr. Speaker, I am ready for a workable approach. The majority chief whip has suggested that we do 8-8 and continue tomorrow. You say you want us to do 16-16. That's fine. If you want us to do 16-16, Mr. Speaker, if that is a suggestion, we are ready. We would marshal our 16. He should get his 16 ready.
Very well. Start. Everybody speaks for 5 minutes. Starting from the minority side, I will give the floor to Honorable Patrick Boama. You are speaking for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to make some few comments on the President's message to the House. Mr. Speaker, the President came here to perform his constitutional duty in accordance with Article 67 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, this 5 minutes is not going to make this debate interesting, but we'll make some points and sit down. Mr. Speaker, the world is going through some turmoil. We're experiencing some hikes in petroleum products globally. Crude oil is now selling over $100 on the world market, but we've been promised a resilient economy, and we trust that no excuses will be brought to the floor when this affects our national budget. Mr. Speaker, we just read a report by a think tank in education in this country, that's the Education Watch, that over 30,000 basic schools or classrooms have remained without teachers since 2025. This is a worrying statistic that every serious government must take a closer look at, Mr. Speaker. For want of time, I will not go into detail because it affects the very progress of our kids in the educational sector. Mr. Speaker, public sector workers have all been agitating for better wages, Mr. Speaker. In the President's address to this House, we did not hear much about his plans and his strategy to assuage the difficulties being meted out to public sector workers. Today, CLOSAG is on strike, and today for the single spine salary structure, some workers have as high as 53% allowance on their basic pay, while their counterparts, including those in the same organization, don't have a single allowance. This is close to over 53% allowance, and PSU has 0%, Mr. Speaker, and there is serious labor disconnect or discrimination that has to be looked at. There is so much labor agitation, and we don't want a disruption in the labor front, Mr. Speaker, and the government being so caring, as they say, should take the right steps to address these agitations on the labor front. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President also mentioned that Ghana was ready for business. But in a country where utility prices keep changing by the day, by the week, by the hour, it's not interesting for any business to thrive. Mr. Speaker, I took a glance at the Fraser report on in the mining sector, and the Global Investment Attractive Index for 2024, Ghana ranked 46 out of 82. In 2025, Ghana ranked 53 out of 68. 2024, in the Global Policy Perception Index, Ghana ranked 46 out of 82 and 50 out of 68. Mr. Speaker, the Global Best Practices Mineral Potential Index, Ghana ranked 34 out of 58 and 35 out of 41. Mr. Speaker, I took a very close look at the NDC manifesto, and I've noticed that the President failed to report on the establishment of the National Bank for Women, National Women's Bank, to support female entrepreneurs on page 12 of the NDC manifesto. Mr. Speaker, there wasn't any report on the establishment of the cocoa colleges in the cocoa growing areas to train cocoa farmers and extension officers, as stated on page 41, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, tariff increases as a major feature in the last statement by the President.
I will then give the floor to Honorable Sanja Nanja.
Seconds.
You have the floor, Sanja Nanja.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the motion that was ably moved by the Honorable Member for Bolgatanga Central, that this House thanks His Excellency the President of the Republic for the message on the state of the nation which he delivered to Parliament on Friday, 27 February 2026. Mr. Speaker, over the years, illegal and irresponsible mining, aka Galamsey, has been a major problem facing our nation, Ghana. But unfortunately, government after government has failed to combat this canker. Mr. Speaker, two related factors have been identified as the inhibiting factors not allowing the Galamsey fight to succeed. And these are weak enforcement and lack of political will. Mr. Speaker, the President, in his State of the Nation's address, reaffirmed his position to fight Galamsey. And he stated that the focus is now on the big fish and not the lower offenders. Mr. Speaker, in 2003 and 2004, 2023 and 2024, out of the 845 persons who were arrested in relation to Galamsey, it is sad to note that the previous government only prosecuted 35. At 35, that is 4%. And the breakdown is as follows. 2023, 218 were arrested, and only 24 were prosecuted. In 2024, we have 627 arrested, and only 11 were prosecuted. Mr. Speaker, the President has said in the State of the Nation address, has declared that no excavator will be missing this time round. We remember 500 excavators in the previous government were were seized, and these excavators miraculously grew wings and flew to Nome and flew out of the country, and up to date we can't find them. This time round, the excavators are tamed. The excavators can no longer fly because we have taken measures, and the excavators, tracking devices have been put on the excavators, and they are being monitored wherever they go. Mr. Speaker, recently, just last week, over 1,000 chamfans, which were bound to Galamsey areas, were intercepted at the Tama Harbor by the EPA. And this is a boost to Galamsey fight. Mr. Speaker, if you go to the Galamsey areas, Galamsey-prone areas, there are hundreds of cases pending at the court. Mr. Speaker, the President and his team have deployed specialized prosecutorial teams to go and fast-track these cases. And the most Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
I proceed to give the floor to Honorable Kennedy Osei. Kennedy Osei Nyako. Honorable Frank Yeboah. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the President's address that was delivered to us on the 27th of February 2026. Mr. Speaker, listening to the President's speech.
Second Deputy Speaker should take the chair. Please continue.
One would safely assume that Ghana has suddenly become a paradise for healthcare delivery. But, Mr. Speaker, that is not the case. On the issue of nursing, the President boldly declared, and I quote, "Nursing training allowances have been regularized, application fees reduced, and the no-fee stress initiative introduced to ease access to training." End of quote. The emphasis on ease access to training, very comforting words, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, while the President was in this chamber delivering these sweet words and comforting words, the Minister for Health, Honorable Minta Kando, was at Nairobi aggressively causing the suspension, immediate suspension of the Nairobi Training College principal, Nursing Training College principal. What crime did this man commit? The Speaker, the Minister is saying that the man admitted 2,750 students against the government's approved cap of 750. The Speaker, against the 750, the justification the Minister gave was that it will burden the government's no-fee stress and also affect the payment of allowances. The Speaker, I asked the House, sincerely, is it an achievement to deny 2,000 students who are qualified admission to Nursing Training College because the government or the President wants to save face on a populist campaign promise made to Ghanaians in 2024? Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, if we want to look at the true state of health sector in Ghana, then we have to look at the cocoa farmer in my constituency in Achumango Bedanoff, Rapong, the cocoa or Sefibodi in the Western North region. that cocoa farmer, Mr. Speaker, that cocoa farmer had assurance. Mr. Speaker, that cocoa farmer had assurance of a life-saving anti-snake serum delivered swiftly by zipline drone system under the previous government. But today, Mr. Speaker, that assurance is gone because the government has suspended the contract between the government and the zipline. Mr. Speaker, today, if that cocoa farmer should go to his farm and gets bitten by a snake, the farmer will have to find his own way of getting transport to the nearest hospital before the anti-snake serum will be administered. And where is that money going to come from for the transport? The money is going to come from the same proceeds from the sale of cocoa beans that the government has slashed over 1,000 Ghana per bag. Mr. Speaker, and if that farmer is able to get to the hospital and get the serum and returns back, the Speaker, the farmer is going to meet with Dumso because Dumso has returned, or the 100 CD prepaid credit he bought 2 days ago, that used to last for 2 weeks. Unfortunately, that just lasted for 2 days, and therefore the Dumso and the farmer will find it difficult to administer the medication that was given to him by paramedics. The Speaker, this is the true state of our health sector now. Ghana for Yaya Mobo and the NDC. The Speaker, to it, Ghanaians are suffering under NDC. God come to our aid. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me now turn to Honorable Frank Efie, member for Afajeto South. Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Your term starts now.
My most revered Speaker, while sharing my perspectives on the President's message on the state of the nation, permit me to convey multitude of gratitude and appreciation to HE, the President, for delivering what has globally been accepted as a magnificently outstanding, evidence-based, sector by sector, blow by blow, detailed but significant account of his stewardship to the people of this country. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about reset, this is the evidence of the reset that we've talked about. Speaker, our governance is meaningless unless it delivers concrete, impactful, purposeful outcome to its citizenry. Speaker, we have crafted the Local Governance Act just so the 40% of our compatriots who live in rural settings will be taken care of. Speaker, through your facilitation, I just returned from the Western and Central region as a member of your noble committee on rural development and local governance. Speaker, I was extremely excited at the rate of development we are witnessing under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Speaker, when our colleagues across the aisle had opportunity for 8 good years, local governance was reduced to mere devolution of power and deconcentration of offices. Can you imagine? Speaker, today, His Excellency is giving true meaning to local governance. Today, the district, metropolitan, and municipal assemblies are well-resourced. Speaker, I'll give you a tangible example. If you go to Western region, there is a municipality called Efia District. Speaker, in the year 2024, under the reign of His Excellency Akufo-Addo, the whole year, that municipality had only 2.7 million. Today, under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the same municipality for 1 year had 26 million. Speaker, look at the yawning gap between 2.7 and 26 million. No wonder they are delivering. They are performing efficiently and effectively. Mr. Speaker, this is what we are talking about when we say we need to incentivize our local base, create jobs, and unleash opportunities. This is what John Dramani Mahama is doing. Exactly. But Speaker, most importantly, I want to also put on record that this government is not on autopilot as we have had in the last 8 years. The government is being regulated. There are guidelines for spending these monies. So there is a formula. And so the amount of money that has been sufficiently delivered, a section is supposed to create school desks for our pupils. Research and data by EduWatch clearly shows that 2.3 million of our pupils in public schools in Ghana lack desks. Speaker, that is why His Excellency has directed that a segment of this money be used to create desks at the district level. Speaker, a network of Safe Water and NGO has revealed that 44% of Ghanaians lack access to safe, clean, potable water. His Excellency has directed that a percentage of the money to the various assemblies be used in drilling boreholes and creating water. I am excited to know that whilst we were in the Western region, Mr. Speaker, significant amount of these boreholes have already been drilled and mechanized for our people. Yes. So by rough estimate, by 2028, we will be drilling about 5,000 boreholes. This should be enough to give about 500,000 Ghanaians access to safe, clean, potable water. Yes. Anyone who gives water gives life. Yes. Mahama is giving water. Mahama is giving cheap compound. By the time we go to 2028, Mr. Speaker, we would have built about 500 plus cheap compound. Yes. So that every Ghanaian can have access and take advantage of the free medical care policy of John Dramani Mahama. Speaker, this is the governance we are talking about. And if you indulge me, I'll use the hazard of this House, and particularly, Mr. Speaker, in reference to today, I call him Bishop Kofi Amabua. Speaker, the last sona that President Akufo-Addo delivered to this House, this was his response to President.
Thank you. Thank you. So let us welcome Honorable Michael Befi.
Thank you, the Speaker.
Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
Yes, sir, thank you. I rise to comment on the State of the Nation address ably delivered by the President in this respected House. The Speaker, I would like to draw the attention of this august House, the fact that Ghana is still the host of the African Continental Free Trade Area that has come to stay. The African Continental Free Trade, which is a very important concept or a customs union that Africa has adopted, is being hosted by this country. And for that matter, we have to respect the dictates and protocols of AFTA. The Speaker, the President in the State of the Nation address clearly made a statement that he wants to encourage a new policy called an export policy to help the country to be able to focus attention on intra-African trade. We believe that the African Continental Free Trade Area has come to bless Africa so that we'll be able to trade amongst ourselves, duty-free, quota-free. However, Ghana as the host of this concept must be seen as a champion, not just a participant. We have to show leadership. And showing leadership means that we have to do things to enhance our status as a country that is hosting the Secretariat. It will interest you to note that the President in his State of the Nation address said that Exim Bank funding will be enhanced. African Continental Free Trade Areas SME Readiness Program will also come into force. These are things that we were expecting to see in the country, but in reality, these are nothing. You cannot find it anywhere in this country, which means that the country is not positioning itself well to take full advantage of the African Continental Free Trade. As at now, out of the 55 African countries, 54 African countries have signed the agreement. 48 African countries have ratified the agreement, which means that the agreement has come to stay, which is the biggest customs union in the whole world. And I believe that as a country, we have to be seen to be so serious about the African Continental Free Trade Area. The Speaker, it also interests you to note that the President made a huge announcement that has come to just be a mere announcement, announcing that there are going to be 3 government factories to be established within this country. 3 government factories. The Speaker, this was just an announcement. As at now, nothing seriously has been done as far as the establishment of these factories are concerned. I can confidently tell you that preparatory works are only underway. There hasn't been any serious engagement with the Ghanaian that has been selected to take the lead or promote the business on behalf of Ghana. So I believe that this was just an announcement. It didn't show anything serious, and it didn't speak well of us as a country that is ready to create a lot of businesses. The Speaker, to interest you to note that the President said that that factory is going to create about almost about 1.7 million jobs, total factory work, which I believe it would have encouraged a lot of people to even be part of the whole arrangement. But government alone, as government, may not be able to do it. Note that the 24-hour economy that they were trying to bring could have helped in this matter if they had allowed the private sector to come in. The private sector could have come in by also leading to set up government factories. In this country, as I'm talking to you, there are 3 major government factories in this country that employs almost about 500,000 people total, if you combine both direct and indirect jobs that they create. I believe that the government should have done more by engaging the private sector, giving them good incentive package that can encourage a lot of people to take part of this program. The next point that I want to talk about is the fact that the President declared the country as being ready for business. Being ready for business means that we are ready to open up. We are ready to also share data. One of the key things that the President didn't do was to give us data on specific investments, especially foreign direct investment that we have attracted into this country. As at now, the President and any other person here cannot specifically tell us how much more money we receive as a country in attracting foreign direct investment into this country, which is not too good for us as a country. So any foreigner who wants to invest in this, into this.
Thank you, Honorable Mike Ebefi. Let's turn to Honorable Bate Zedin. Honorable Bate, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the debate on the message on the state of the nation delivered by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, pursuant to Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution, which he delivered with much dignity, clarity, and confidence. Mr. Speaker, let me begin with the issue of roads. Roads are not merely infrastructure. They are arteries through which opportunity flows to our people. When roads improve, markets expand, farmers prosper, and communities move from isolation to participation. If we are serious about agricultural transformation, then we must equally be serious about the roads that carry food from our farms to our markets. Mr. Speaker, the President announced the construction of the Accra-Kumasi Expressway during his address. And, Mr. Speaker, let me state that this is not just another road project. This is a transformational infrastructural vision. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, the expressway will become one of the most strategic road corridors in the history of this country, comparable only to the famous Accra-Tema motorway constructed by the first President of the Republic of Ghana, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Mr. Speaker, the expressway will cover approximately 198.7 kilometers connecting Accra to Kumasi. And let me say this respectfully to our colleagues on the other side. Infrastructure of this magnitude requires vision, courage, and leadership, and not cynicism. Mr. Speaker, I say this with personal experience. A few weeks ago, I had the privilege of attending a parliamentary training workshop in the Philippines. While there, I experienced firsthand what modern expressway infrastructure can do for a nation. Mr. Speaker, the Philippines has 7 major expressways, not one, with 2 prominent ones being the North Luzon Expressway, otherwise known as NLEX, and the South Luzon Expressway, otherwise known as XLEX. Some sections carry between 4 to 8 lanes, and other sections carry as many as between 11 to 13 lanes. Mr. Speaker, the Philippines has a population of about 120 million, and Manila, the capital, has a population of 30 million. And yet, because of this wonderful road network, it is relatively manageable for movement to be carried out in that particular country. Mr. Speaker, let me move to the big push. This initiative will ensure that strategic roads across all 16 regions of Ghana will benefit from accelerated infrastructure development. And I'd like on this occasion, on behalf of the people of the Upper West region, to express profound gratitude to the President for including critical roads in our region under this program. Mr. Speaker, historically, the Upper West region has not received much infrastructure development. In fact, at some point in time, road construction, we had the least kilometerage of paved roads in the country. And so we are very, we commend the President and we thank the President for including us in the Big Push road program. Mr. Speaker, the roads which have been included include the following: Solawa Road, Navrongo Sicily Tumu Road, Tumuhengwa Road, Tumuheng Lora Road, and then Wahamli Road. Mr. Speaker, these roads will certainly open up the Upper West region. Let me, Mr. Speaker, move to aviation, that is transportation. The President announced the construction of 3 new airports, including the Wa Airport. Mr. Speaker, let me say that I was privileged to be part of the team that acquired the site for the new airport, that is at Perisi. And this was in 1995. The people have been waiting for the construction of.
Honorable Bid, thank you very much. Let's now turn our attention to Honorable Tia Kabilu. Very well. So let's move to Honorable Kingsley Ajimai. Honorable Kingsley Ajimai, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to make some few commentary on the State of the Nation address by His Excellency the President. Listening to the debate and the commentary from the other side, one begins to wonder if it is really the State of the Nation that the President presented to us. Mr. Speaker, if you indulge me, I want us to go to page 11 of the President's address, specifically paragraph 2, and I want to paraphrase or quote him. He says, "Our nation is on the runway. It is in takeoff mood, and you are all advised to fasten your seatbelt," unquote. Mr. Speaker, this means that it has taken the President 15 months, if he was the captain of an aeroplane, to just push back and taxi to a runway. I mean, it is not surprising that headliners or frontline policies that they mentioned in their manifesto, such as the Big Push which they are debating around as perspectives or perceptions and not realities, has not seen the light of the day. Their famous 24-hour economy, the expected number of employment that they ought to have done, have all not materialized because for 15 months, the president was pushing back to taxi to a runway. So if you have a flight duration of, let's say, 4 hours, you have used basically 1 hour or 1 hour, 30 minutes just to push back and taxi to a runway. I believe this is not the way to go, and that we have to be more serious with the way we govern our country. Mr. Speaker, the president's statements or address was interspersed with a lot of levity. Why do I say this? If you go to page 27, where he sought to address a problem, and if your permission, I quote, "Today, NCD accounts for over 40% of all deaths in Ghana and remain a major case of household poverty." Mr. Speaker, in a nutshell, what the president is telling us is that 1 out of every 2 deaths that happens in this country is as a result of an NCD. A very big problem, huge problem, that if you are a president of a country and you are confronted with a situation where 1 out of 2 deaths happens and it comes from a categorization of a public health called an NCD or non-communicable disease, and you will laugh at this. His solution to this huge or elephant-type problem was the creation of a Ghana Medical Trust Fund, what all of them are alluding to as Mahama Cares. Mr. Speaker, you have this huge problem that you are confronted with as a president. Your solution was to take 80% of this fund coming from an existing fund that we are already struggling with. That's the 20% from the National Health Insurance Authority. I mean, big problems require big solutions. And for this solution that has been suggested or has been addressed by the president in his State of the Nation address is very, very, very unfortunate. Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue to behave, or we cannot continue this way. How can you take 80% of a fund from an existing problem or a problem that is killing 1 out of 2 deaths that happens in this country is as a result of an NCD? Why this? I think there should be more. There should be more rigorous financing when it comes to healthcare. The mere fact that you want to etch your name in what President Kufuor did by bringing about economic accessibility to healthcare, where no one is denied healthcare because of their low socio-economic setting, does not mean that you should be in a hurry. It does not mean that you should be in a hurry to bring about something. I mean, policies must be very thoughtful, and we must take the people of this country very serious. 1 out of 2 deaths cannot be solved by bringing about what they call Mahama Cares. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Kingsley Nyako, Kingsley Ajimai. So we turn to Honorable Ni Ashikoti. Honorable Ni, nobody will interject you. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I believe in your statement that you will not allow anyone to heckle me. Mr. Speaker, I also want to take the opportunity to thank His Excellency, the President, John Dramani Mahama, for the prudent management of this economy, and also to the Venerable Atuforsin for the great work he's doing in Ghana's economy. Mr. Speaker, I wonder why lately, whenever we decide to discuss matters of the economy, our colleagues are quick enough to jump on matters of cocoa and cocoa farmers. Mr. Speaker, I have in my hands a statement made today in this House on statement made today in this House as part of the Auditor General's reports. And Mr. Speaker, in this document, without prejudice, it is being alleged that about 18 billion Ghana cedis is at large. And what I want to say is that if they had managed the economy this well, this amount of whooping amount of 18 billion cedis would have been used to cushion the cocoa farmer. What we are doing today is to manage the mess they created. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency John Mahama has managed the economy so well that today, inflation is as low as about 3.5%. And this is gradually reflecting, 3.3%, reflecting in the practical lives of our people. Today, the amount of money you spend to buy a bag of rice is far less than what you would have used to do same under the NPP. He knows that Ghana as a country need to shock absorb its economy so that the gains we have made so far will not derail. And that is why His Excellency the President has instituted what we call the GANRAP, the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Policy, which was brought to this House to be approved. What is the purpose? It is to ensure that we'll be able to accumulate about 15 months of import cover by 2028 to shock absorb Ghana from any external insecurities or stabilities that may occur. Mr. Speaker, the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia-led government didn't have this foresight. When COVID struck, they found themselves wanting to the extent that they have to run from one country to another, borrowing everywhere. They borrowed from our local market, they borrowed from the international market, they went to the IMF and all the other Bretton Woods, just begging. But we are being proactive to ensure that we build Ghana's base to the extent that whenever there are any external shocks, we'll be able to manage it, that it will not affect the Ghanaian that bad. Mr. Speaker, under the NPP, they made the Ghanaian lose confidence in that famous phrase, what I call the phrase of destiny, in Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's independence delivery, that the black man is capable